Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. All right, yesterday I left the stream with a task still on my plate that I then did, but I didn't do it perfectly. So now we have this fake drop down menu here that shows all the different buttons, and any of the East Asian languages show the fonts correctly. And when you click one of them, it can change the font, it can change the language. So this works, but you can see even just in there, like this is not positioned totally well. If you click outside of here, it doesn't close this. So we got to fix those issues. Oh, I don't think that worked. Yeah, thank you. I copied it as Markdown. And yeah, it caused something strange to happen at the beginning there. Thanks, Alex. And hi, good morning. Hey, what? It's going pretty well. I think so. The goal today is launch the new demo. The tasks I want to do before that is merge a couple of branches, fix this window issue, play test the game, and there might be something else that I need to do for that stuff. Hey, man, fine. Yeah, oh man, this is a ton of work to get all this stuff, the fonts and everything, and getting them to change dynamically, and then getting them to look good in every other part of the game. So like this is the non-Skeleteller font. You would never be seeing this with English ideally, but imagine that the game were in Japanese right now. Like you'd see all of these numbers show up like this. You'd see different labels for health and power and whatever else. And yeah, tooltips are working. Everything else is working. Character names are a little bit smaller than normal. We can eventually do something about that. But then, yeah, you can change it back to English, and now it's all the regular Skeleteller fonts. It's not just English. Oh, that's a problem. Wait, no, that's not necessarily a problem. That's just because you have to save and load after changing languages. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about that. I don't really care. All right, so this window issue, just skim through what you do. This is what Kevin had told me. We probably want to use a pop-up or pop-up panel, so it'll handle the windowing for us. You call something like pop-up on it to show it. If I recall correctly, the only thing you'll need to handle when using the pop-up is the positioning. Other than that, check out the doc for window pop-up. If it turns out to not be that straightforward, let me know and I'll check. Okay, so we have a pop-up panel. Is that something we did? No, is that something Godot did? Pop-up panel? It is something Godot did. What is this? A pop-up with a panel background. Oh, nice. Okay. Pop-up with a configurable panel background. Any child controls added to this node will be stretched to fit the panel's size. Okay, seems pretty reasonable. How's your Christmas so far? I've never in my entire life heard someone ask me that 13 days in advance of Christmas. Everything's going fine here. I mean, yeah. I think maybe you mean December. December's going well. There's been some stress. I kind of talked about it on Discord. It's not related to, well, it's not totally related to Skeleteller stuff, but I'm hoping that I'm working through that right now. So yeah, there's kind of a lot going on. And then I get reunited with my wife in a little bit. She's been traveling to visit her family, and she'll be coming back soon. I'm not Christian and trying to make a conversation. No, that's yeah, it's fine. It's just Christmas is a single day. I think whether or not you're Christian, you probably know that. Okay, so yeah, pop-up panel. We'll use this on that new locale menu. So what we do here is we have a control for anchoring. I guess we can just put all of this into a pop-up now. I kind of want to try this and just see what happens. I do a bunch of reparenting stuff though. In fact, actually, how does that work? Okay, I see. Okay, so pop-up panel. Here we go. Not even late enough to get a partridge in a pear tree. Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe I'm the dummy. Not that I was trying to say what is a dummy. I've just never been asked that in my life before. Um, yeah. All right. So if I show this, we have where buttons will go in here. And I wonder if we can handle clicking outside of this. I think we can. Pop-up menu does it somehow, so we should probably look at that. Anyway, how's your December going? Do you have any fun plans? Has anything been up? Okay, so let's cut out the reparenting here. And we just need to show control for anchoring is actually going to be a pop-up panel instead. Yeah. All right, let's go get that. And where do we, yeah, right there. Okay, so pop-up panel. Gonna need to rename that at some point. I'll write that down here to do, rename this. Yeah, so I've got to figure this out at some point. And I think we avoid the reparenting, so let's just get rid of this. But I don't think we call show, I think we call pop-up apparently. Shows the window and makes it transient. If rect is provided, it will be set as the window's size. Fails if called on the main window. If display, oh, I can't read the whole thing there. Okay, let's look at it in the code then. Oh, where'd it go? All right, yeah. If embed subwindows is true, coordinates are global and relative to the main window's top left. Okay, I think I understand what we're doing here. Hey, Ryan. Good morning. And nice, you got first. All right, so yeah, let's pop this up. And then let's figure out how we hide this. It could just be hide, but I think there's a close function. There's close requested. I remember reading about something with closing here. Will not close automatically when requested. You need to handle it manually using close requested signal. Okay. So we do that from ready. Close requested plus equal close menu. All right, I think that's good. Hey, Krasner, thank you very much. How did your week go, Krasner? I don't know if we need to do anything else. I have some positioning here, but now we're not. Let's just try that. Let's just see what happens. And now what's the problem with this? Cannot implicitly convert vector 2 to vector 2i. Now what, we need to make these ints? Cannot convert from float to int. Let's just convert the whole thing. Phenomenal. Been working on a solver for sets unbounded in size for like a year. It had a massive breakthrough. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, that is quite the long time horizon for that sort of thing. Sometimes when I'm struggling with a problem for like a week or two, it still feels good to just kind of move past it. All right, so what happens now? Okay, I think this is pretty much working. It's not deleting the children from this correctly. And it's probably not moving it correctly. Oh, no, it is. And what if I do this? Wow, that was super easy. I didn't expect that to be so easy. They patched the ad skip glitch. Oh, you might not have heard. I was asking, how is your December going? And yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound like a jerk with what I said earlier. I hope I didn't come off that way. Sometimes, I don't know. I say things sort of idly as I'm still thinking about programming problems. And yeah, I think sometimes the humor can get interpreted as snarkiness. I don't necessarily mean it that way. It's one of those that's never truly solved, so I go back to it every time I learn something new. Oh, nice. Yeah, you know, this is probably what the big math problems felt like for the people who ended up solving them. Like tons of people worked on them for years or even decades or centuries. And then you just had a novel way of approaching it. And wow, all of a sudden now humanity is slightly more enriched as a result. All right, so this lets us change quite a lot here. Hey, bathroom. Yeah. Okay, so we go to this and delete this. And it's going to say it's in use, I think. It did not say it's in use. That's okay, because now we don't need this here anymore. Yeah, we don't use this. So we don't use this, and we don't use this. I do just call hide. I think that's okay. Actually, I don't know. But we're not... Yeah, this isn't happening correctly here. We need to call close menu. which is, wait, hold on. No, I'm wrong about this. What am I talking about? Something's still going wrong. Let's take a look. How did we go here? Didn't have much time to check in after Monday. It was more or less good. The progress on the game has been good. I'd like to have made more progress. I'm trying to analyze, I just came to a conclusion about something. So this is going to be a very winding answer, and hopefully it makes sense at the end why I even mentioned any of this. But I had this blog post I did a while ago about reducing sugar. And this is back in 2022. And the general idea was that over the course of 2023, I just like slowly started cutting it down. And it was very slow. Like I had a schedule over the course of the whole year. And since then, I've been sticking to this. And that's a diet thing. I've been thinking about sort of mental diet lately, and more specifically Reddit. So a long time ago, I used to go on Reddit. I had an account, I had an app on my phone, and I'd log in and it would show me all the subreddits I was subscribed to. And every once in a while, I'd veer off into a different subreddit and I'd just read a lot of Reddit. And then at some point, I'm like, man, this is really stupid. And I just like stopped. And the only way I would go on to it is if I was doing something like whatever, like Python problem with something, I don't know, arrays. And a Reddit post would pop up. Here I actually typed in Reddit just so I could show this. But like I wouldn't prevent myself from clicking this link just because it was on Reddit. So I'd click this, I'd read about it, and I'd close it, and that was fine. More recently, what I thought is, okay, I won't have the app, I won't have an account, and I'll just go to specific subreddits. And as a result, I could only go to the ones I would remember, basically. So like I would go to Ask Reddit or something like that. And more what I realize is this is just like sugar. It doesn't hurt you the minute after you do it. Like if you touch a burning stove, you're going to feel, oh, I shouldn't do that anymore. But sugar actually probably feels good for the first minute after you consume it. And then, it's not until years down the line, maybe, or weeks down the line, maybe you've gained weight, maybe you've developed some problems, something like that. Anyway, that's what Reddit is like. I feel like in the moment, it feels like, yeah, this is fine. And it leads to me not necessarily enjoying it, I don't know. There's like no value really in going there. It's like I'm less bored for that time, which I don't even think is a good idea. So the reason I mention this is you asked, how did my week go here? I've been contemplating this in the context of like, why am I not getting more done? And I think it's a very complex answer. And I think that Reddit component is only part of it. And I'm not like wasting hours every day, but I'm spending more time than I want to be. So a long time ago, I interviewed Mel, who goes by Juicebox Hero on Twitch. And she had mentioned that she did a fearless inventory of her life. And that to me, what this was is she analyzed, how am I spending all of my time and where do I want to be spending that time? And then you try to cut certain things out or allocate your time differently. I want to start doing that this coming Monday. And I want to do it sort of like you're tracking calories for a diet, where you just write down all the food that you're eating, but you don't change anything at first. So yeah, I want to figure out like, what am I doing with my time and how do I want to be spending it? Because I think these next 3 months, I've got to be very intentional about. So that's my very long answer for how did my week go? What's going on here? Finally able to work out as good as before. Nice. Yeah. Hey, Kevin. And you, Alex? Not this Monday. Wait for New Year's. No, I definitely want to do it this Monday. I wanted it to be representative of like an average week. And I think this coming week should just be an average week, hopefully. Hey, Goose. It's true, but you need sugar for energy. I mean, look, my point in general is people on average consume too much sugar. Like people on average probably consume too much social media. That's it. You could argue you even need some amount of social media, and maybe not in the form that people traditionally think of it as, but like you need to be in touch with people. And if you're on tech, probably some of that does need to be social. But I think we all kind of take it to an extreme. And I just want to keep an eye out on like, what is it doing to me? What is it doing for me? So this is no longer called control for anchoring. This is going to be pop-up, what's it? Menu, window, pop-up panel. And it has a panel built in, doesn't it? Can you set that here? Yeah, you can. So I don't think we need a panel container there. I don't think we need a pop-up container there. I think we just put the margin container right there and then delete this stuff. It might look a little bit weird. I got to style it anyway. Hey, Codex. Infinite scrolling is a plague on humanity. Yeah, I generally think so. Okay, so now we're not doing anything with this. Where did I launch this from? Apparently over here. Node not found, control for anchoring. Yeah, that's right. I renamed it and I never renamed it over here. Control for anchoring. So this is now pop-up panel. And we rename this to pop-up panel. Now reopen this. Maybe writing books will be a great career for you. I mean, I hope game dev is a good career for me. Not to say that there can't be multiple. Okay, so this did pop up. We can click outside of it, but it is adding new things every single time. So what is going on with this? Is this not being called? Is it not doing anything? It's not being called. And I guess clicking the main button shouldn't toggle this thing. So something else is going wrong here. This is calling close menu. But close menu is never actually being hit. So I'm missing something. There's got to be some other signal here. Signal. There is no signal for this. What about pop-up? Maybe it's window that has it. Signals. Pop-up hide. Emitted when the pop-up is hidden. The thing is, it's not really hidden. I guess it is in this case because I never explicitly closed it. We have to request a hide. Close requested. How do you do this? How do you do this? Huh. Close button. When the pop-up is enabled and user clicks outside of it. Signal can be used to handle window closing by connecting it to hide. What? I don't think I understand this. Connected to hide? Yeah, let me read this again. Maybe I'm missing something. A node that creates a window. That is fine. At runtime, windows will not close automatically when requested. You need to handle it manually using the close requested signal. Am I doing something wrong here? We have the close requested signal. I call close menu. Close menu is never being hit. Okay, it is there when I pick something because I'm manually calling close menu. But there's another place I'm calling it, which is here. So close requested is never happening. That seems wrong. Well, do we do this anywhere else in our code? No. Do we use pop-up panel anywhere else in our code? No. Oh, man. Did I miss something else from what Kevin had said? Check out pop-up. Shows a window, makes it transient. All right, so we're here. Yeah, this is fine. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, let's search for close requested. Pop-up not respecting exclusive. Embed with exclusive does not say on top of its parent. They don't close when emitting closers requested. I don't even know what emits this. Not emitted for pop-ups. Here it is. This seems like my issue. States that the signal is emitted when it's enabled and the user clicks outside of the window. However, I found that this doesn't occur. Yes, so far this is my problem. It only seems to occur when the pop-up window's property is set to false. The title bar is displayed for the window and the user presses the close button. Huh, and this was 2023. Pop-up window true. Exclusive. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry. That was my wife. Just want to say hi to her. All right, for the root viewport, GUI embed sub windows equals false. This, I can't do that. I need them embedded. Okay. Well, there's a new strategy we could apply here. So problem, it's just this issue. We could work around this by only adding the buttons to the pop-up the first time that the window is opened. Yeah, that way we don't need to add them every single time, and we don't ever need to free them. So let's just hack this code really fast. We'll just do private bool has added buttons. And down here, because these buttons don't change. Well, the fonts could change. But maybe that's not a problem. So if not has added buttons equals true. And do all the add button stuff. And now close menu shouldn't free the children. Yeah, it's not a big deal that we change the fonts. And we could change the fonts even when the buttons exist already, I guess. Every time you open this, but that's minor. All right, so here are the buttons. We can close this, we can open this, and we can click these. But like I said, the font won't change. So if you look at English right now, you can see how the G is a couple of circles almost. If we click this, it's still going to be a couple of circles, but that's not the font we're using anywhere else. But that's okay. Hey, Hagerman, how you doing? How's your game going? All right, well, now this code does work, I think. And I think everything else is fine. So rename this, we did. We don't need spaces here. Does everything else look good? So this just never gets hit. So there's no point in even having this. Then how does this work? It's just hiding the window? Huh. Super well. That's good. What's your roadmap? Hoping the game dev works for me too. Yeah, Monadic Bind, I have a note on my to-do list, and I almost texted you about this. But let me say this. I want to avoid any like unpleasantness. So like feel free to ignore me. And I might have mentioned this before, but a while ago I asked like, how did the launch go? And I think you said something like, we made every possible mistake. And I wanted to ask like, what were they and what did you learn? And to frame this is a selfish question. like what can I, Adam, take from what you experienced? It is not a like I'm probing to figure out if you learned something or any. It's yeah. It's so anyway. That's where I stand on that. And yeah, feel free to ignore it. I don't know if it's like painful to talk about or if it's neutral or what. Let me thank you for the resub. Happy quarter of a year. So yeah, I just left it on my to-do list, and I thought I'll just come back to it in like a month or something. Now I've asked about it. So I guess I'll say to myself, remove Monadic Bind question from to-do list. Please help me avoid that pain. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I'm gonna be doing more and more marketing in the coming months, and I mentioned this video that I watched recently, and it's kind of gotten me thinking about, man, there's so many different approaches to game dev and how you do marketing, how you do your data analysis, and it's just the thing that I don't like about game dev as a business, at least, is projects are so long that it's hard to iterate on the business side. Like, for a lot of people, their Steam launch is probably going to be the biggest exposure they get. So you could test something. You could be like, okay, you can't really do A/B testing on Steam, but let's say you could. You could try like, okay, if I have screenshot X versus screenshot Y, you can't see which one is better if all you're getting is, let's say, like 100 views in a month. Unless it's drastically different, like, oh, 100 people then bought your game when you use this screenshot versus 0 bought them on this one. But otherwise, you're going to see like, oh, yeah, 60 people. Well, no, they probably not 60 out of 100 people would have bought it. But yeah, like 2 people bought it here and 1 person bought it here. That doesn't mean this is twice as good. It just means you have a sample size it's 3. So like if you can't get more people to come to your Steam page, you can't really find out if your marketing or your ads are getting any better. And then that's it. You wait another couple of years and your next game comes out and you're like, well, I hope I learned something from that. But in that time, the industry has changed. The main mistakes we made were just the amount of time and money we spent building our first game. I see. Had to log in on my work computer to say hi. Hope no one sees this. You mean hope no one on the work computer sees it? Hey, Galaxy Inferno. Haven't seen you in a little while. I hope you're doing well. We used AI art, which we're now replacing at great cost. And we didn't do any marketing till late. And crucially, we didn't do much validation throughout development. I see. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, thank you for sharing. I do appreciate that. And I want to write this down for myself. And hey, MRW. Good. Magnetic bind. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I kind of look at this like, at least my understanding of radar. Let's say you have a thing here and you're trying to identify it, and you have a bunch of like, I remember we did this in school a long time ago. We have a bunch of people like standing in a line, and you just say like, you have this thing produce a sound, and you have everyone who's standing in a line like point their arm in a certain direction. So this person's going to point here, and this person's going to point here, and so on and so forth. And through these signals, you can kind of figure out, okay, the object is over here. I think this is kind of like how people's game dev experience works, that all of you can only point your arm in a certain direction, but it might not be exactly on target. And by looking at everyone's data points, you can kind of figure out what the industry looks like a bit. And again, this is what I lament about the long project times, is like, it'd be nice if you could finish a game to a certain level of polish in like a month. And then, okay, cool. Yeah, you could reasonably expect to do like 10 games a year, you know? But that's not really doable right now. Unless you really cut corners and they're like game jam level games. Yeah. Also, I do know that some games were made quickly and then made a lot of money. Like, I think Peak was made in 4 weeks or something. Oh, that was a team of people. And yeah, who knows? Like, will their studio have a lot of success after this? But yeah, they did fantastically well. Hey, JD. Happy PoE 2 league start. Oh man, lots of new seasons then lately, huh? The finals just started on Wednesday, and then new mode they added is amazing. 10 miles deep in a deep dive on code release strategies and Git workflows and tags. And basically, I think I'm trying to learn all of DevOps and CI/CD in one day. I think DevOps is a massive, just like, there's a lot of breadth, is what I'm trying to say. I was going to say like a massive intelligence sink, but that makes it sound bad. It's just, there's a lot of breadth to it. Hey, Franken. So yeah, definitely give yourself some slack if you're expecting to learn it all in a day. Hogwarts Legacy is free today. Yeah. I posted about that on Discord too. So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, all you need is an Epic account, and you go every week and download a free game, and you have it forever. And I imagine that even if you don't want that free game, they probably have some policy around reselling. But like, I bet people are gonna make money off of this someday just by collecting all the free games and being like, okay, here's an account with 300 games. So close menu never actually gets hit. Note, it seems like this never gets hit due to this. Okay, there we go. Remember not being able to look down while flying around in that game? Must have been too computationally expensive. I played it for a bit, and I just didn't really like it that much, but that doesn't mean a lot. I played a lot of games, didn't really like them too much. There's another Epic free game called Scourgebringer. Is that what it was? Yeah, Scourgebringer. And this looked pretty interesting. It's like a platformer roguelite, but I played it for about, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. And it just wasn't very fun. I don't know. All the enemies, I was just attacking in the same way and killing them. And they dropped some little pellets of something. And I got a power up that said like plus 5% of something else. And I was just like, I'm not feeling this. Then again, I never actually finished an entire like life. So maybe it gets a lot more fun when you die and then you spend whatever persistent currency you get. Retired Android, thank you too for the resub. Man, everyone's coming back. Thanks. Just want to know how I best automate the release of our internal ML utils Python package by updating the versioning based on some rules. Yeah, I think it's a very worthwhile endeavor to do, because that's the kind of thing that's not really fun. It's potentially prone to errors. So automating it can cut that stuff out. Is it out yet? No, not yet. So we're aiming for March of 2026. And yet today, the goal is to produce the new pruned demo. So we should have a new demo out today, I hope. Once you're able to execute well enough, the idea matters a lot. You draw players in with the idea and keep them in with the execution. Yeah. Yeah, this thing that I've been hearing in general more the last couple of years is like just make a good whatever, where X is a game, a YouTube video, and then sort of rely on the algorithm a little bit. And now the more recent things I'm hearing are like, okay, so do that, but also game the algorithm. And I'm still torn on that, but yeah. Yeah, people do have to like the thing that you made. It's like if I sit someone down with one of my YouTube videos and they're like, yeah, I'm kind of bored after a couple minutes. It's like, all right, I need to change how I make the video somehow. Do we get a new playtest as well? I think so, yeah. And it should have the entire story mode in it. And yeah, thank you, Retired Android. Is this new demo the thing you want playtesters for? Or is that separate? So there are two things that I need. One is new playtesters. So people who never played the game at all, not even the demo. And two is like language testers, I guess. Is that right? Yeah. And that's not to say that I won't get value out of older people who played the game already playing the game again. That's still good. But those are the main goals I have. So yeah, as soon as I release the new playtest version, I think this weekend I got to start reaching out to some real life friends and being like, hey, can we meet up? Can we play this game together? And I can, watch and take notes. I've been thrown out like trash. No, I'm just saying just Xyletix has no value whatsoever in the playtesting. That's it. But everyone else, no, there's some value you can provide. So I think we got all this working. And either way, it's like, does this feel fine for now? And I think so. The only thing I'd like to do is maybe center this, but I'm not going to do that. And then we should probably give this a better style, the panel itself. Can we just quick load like a, no, that's weird. Only buttons.tres shows? What? Oh, because we never made a style box? I see. So we'd have to theme this. I don't know how we look at this. If I just type paper stack theme, what happens? It probably doesn't do anything. I'm so curious to try the game. Yeah, I think I've got your name on a list. Let me make sure it's there. I have so much to do. I just have an absolutely crazy amount of stuff I need to do. And that's part of why I was talking about Reddit today and how I want to like find more time and energy. And I think I can do it, but I have to. What was I just gonna go look at? Oh yeah, the styling of this thing. So yeah, that did nothing, which is kind of what I expected. But I think we can change it so that this theme has something for pop-up menu. Pop-up panel, there, that. And we can set something here. What do we do? Panel? Don't we have a panel that is, man, I don't know what we're doing. There should be paper panel. Panel is here. Can I just copy this? What do you do when I copy you? Paste. Did that work? I would have expected it to. Ah, nice. Okay. That looks kind of bad though. I think if anything, we make it like the scroll background. Because yeah, this looks very formal for a language menu and very, very ornate. I don't like that. So what is the scroll menu? Game settings menu. We should be able to find this here somewhere. Theme is controls. This should have a panel somewhere. As a pop-up menu. Interesting. Where's the panel? Man, I've never liked this about Godot. When you've got the window small, you can't increase the size of the left side here. You have to expand the window and then you can increase the size of the left. And like, I just want to see this stuff. Panel, here we go. Theme override style. All right, so copy this maybe, and maybe don't put this in the theme. I don't actually know what I prefer there. Because yeah, we put it, yeah, just delete this and just paste this. And now open that up. That didn't even do anything. I messed something up. Oh no, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I think it's fine. And it kind of fits for being a language menu that it's in a scroll like that. So now what happens if you open this up and it's at the bottom of the screen? Can we even do that? I guess we could shrink this. Yeah, there's no scrolling this. Yeah, I think the in-game menu one is good. And we could also, I guess, apply that over here. But I don't necessarily care about that right now. So should I make this scrollable, or is there some way to make it so that it's always on the screen? Pop-up panel dot always. There's always on top. Window will be on top of all our windows. Is there some like... No, we just need to do something here. Don't we have a clamp to screen? We do. So can't I just do that in here? And what does this take in? A viewport rectangle and another rectangle? Oh, yeah, that's what we want to do, I guess. And then does this return a vector? It does. So we put this over here. Yeah, let's just let's just do it this way. I don't wanna mess this up. Cannot convert vector 2 to vector 2y. Oh man, we really need an extension method. Let's just convert this stuff. Or wait, didn't ABC say we could do this? I hope that works. And then yeah, I could cut this down into one line of code. I don't really care if I do that or not. So now if I shrink the window, it should be on the screen. Yeah, nice. Now it does get to the point where it can shrink and then you can't scroll that at all. So maybe we also just throw this in a scroll container and then just kind of call it at that. So scroll container goes first. So we add a scroll container and then put that there. And then we just do whatever we did for this thing. We didn't even change anything here. Yeah, we didn't even change anything. So I think that's good enough. And then that's it. I want to be done with this. I don't want to touch this anymore. I'm sick of this. Yeah, that's wrong. That's very wrong. We anchored it to vCenter. I guess we need to give the margin container a size if we do that. But it should be based on the button container. Or we need to give this a size? I don't know. I don't think I want to do this. Let's just get rid of the scroll container. Yeah, scroll container needs a size. Well, actually, I could set it to the size of the... I'm not going to do that. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Okay. So yeah, so it won't scroll. It's okay. I don't think we're going to have a problem there. Because if this needs to scroll, if you can't fit this on the screen, you probably can't play the game. Because at some point, you need to see battles and stuff. So yeah, your window has to be at least this big. There is a workaround. You could always cut the game scale down so that you could see this, change the language, and then turn it back up. But again, I don't think people are going to click this button. In fact, it should not be the first button here, probably. But yeah, cool. Okay, so there's our thing. We are done, I think, with this. So we don't have a pop-up. That probably shouldn't have changed. We should probably close out of all of these things. Yeah, this was pretty easy to do, though. I'm glad. Oh, I didn't see if escape works to close that. I gotta try that. Oops, wrong thing. It does work, but I don't know if we need this code to get it to work. Oh, also the has added buttons thing. I gotta fix that too. Okay, well, let's take a look. Do we need this here at all? It'd be nice to not have it. Can we make the button expand horizontally? Looks a bit odd as is. Yeah, we can. I actually didn't know if I wanted to expand it. So that was an intentional decision, just probably a bad one. Okay, so yeah, pressing escape still works. So we don't need this code at all. Pretty good. Kevin said we should expand that. So let's go expand that. Game settings menu, locale menu. Where are you? here, and we click that. Okay, that should have just automatically taken place in the game. Yeah. And actually now this aligns a little bit better. Now that button is bigger. Okay, and then the only other thing is has added buttons. So we only want to do this when you open the menu for the first time. Adding buttons means loading each font, every font in the game. So we only want to do it when the language menu is opened. Otherwise, yeah, that way most players never need to incur this cost. I'm also not certain if we should be using the resource cache. Like here, I use resource loader intentionally, but we create a button. Yeah, here we make a font, and this uses resource cache.load. I actually don't know if we should do this because we probably shouldn't be caching fonts. I think we should switch to resource loader. But I'm not sure if that's going to have a performance impact. So we'll have to try that next. But yeah, we load this in each of these ways. All right, anything else? I think I just want to diff this. Oh, that's not what we're supposed to do here either, is it? The main button should just open the menu now and nothing else. Open menu. Because if you, well, let's see what happens when you do this. If you click it while it's already open, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So it just opens it again. What happens if you do that over here? It closes it. Ugh. All right. No, let's try it again. So now I made it so that it closes it when you click the main button, but I think it's going to close the pop-up and then reopen it anyway, so it's the same thing. Yeah. So we needed to like close it for real, which I guess means just don't do anything. Yeah. So it's just this. That should do it. And then I had to write a comment there why we do that. No, that doesn't work. Oh, right, because by the time we get here, it's always not going to be visible. There's a way around this, but I don't care enough about this, so let's just simplify the code a little bit. Okay. And then this should be in an add buttons section. Add buttons. And I'll just say cref equals has added buttons for why we only do this once. Yeah. All right. I guess the if statement should be in here. If has added, then return. There. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to clean this up. I don't care. We've spent too long on this. Turn locale menus pop-up into pop-up panel. This fixes two issues that we had. The window wouldn't, or the pop-up wouldn't close when clicking outside of it. And then what is the other one? Oh yeah, the positioning would be wrong. I don't know why this fixed the positioning. I didn't do anything. So if I zoom in all the way and then click this, yeah, it's still in the right spot. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, I don't know how that fixed itself, but it did. So fine, whatever. Is that what I mentioned to Kevin over our messages? Yeah. Cool. So both are fixed. Give me one sec. Okay. And then I also styled the pop-up. Cool. So this is done. I think let's just delete this now at this point. All right, what else? What was on this list from yesterday? There's some cleanup stuff, right? Delete any empty TRES files. I don't think there are any empty ones anymore. How do we find all of them? I didn't realize we had that many. But yeah, I guess the easiest way is just ff type TRES, pb copy. So here they all are. And why don't we pipe this into ls-al? Wait, how do you do this? I wanna oh man, I wanna figure out the file size of each of these. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'd only know if it's small. We wouldn't know if it's empty, because empty doesn't really mean empty. Let me just take a look at some of these. Yeah, like this has something underneath it. For it to be empty, it'd still have the resource section, but just nothing under it. And I don't think we can just search for resource, because I think it shows in more than TRES files. No, it only shows in TRES files. Oh, well then okay. There we go. So then yeah, all we need to do is this RGI resource -C5. That is not what I want. There we go. All right, so are any of these empty? No. I deleted the one that was empty already. The way we probably should have tested this search is by having the empty one there still, but I already finished it. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Nothing's there. All right, so this is done. Merge this. Yep, we got to do that. Yeah, write that down. Okay, what next? Probably need to theme the background a bit. Already did that. Write notes. Yeah, this definitely, but we can do this afterward. I want to merge this stuff first. We have bold italics variant and italics variant, but I don't think we use either since we set the fonts up through code. We should stick to one or the other. Yeah, this doesn't show up anywhere. And then italics variant. Yeah, they're both deletable now. Okay. All right, so just search for variant.tres and wipe them out. That's not good. Oh, the banner uses it? How's that possible? And what does it say it's using? The bold one? It's weird. I searched for it. What? It should be impossible, right? Variant. Yeah, what? I must be misunderstanding something. If I try to delete this, it says dependency of file to be deleted is banner.tscn. Banner.tscn does no such thing. There's no theme, there's no theme, no theme. None. None. And this can't even have a theme. Maybe if I delete it now, I just need to open the file or something? So confused. How does it think that it's using this? Maybe it's using it by UID and I'm searching for the wrong thing. That's possible. Nope. I don't know why Godot thinks this is in use. Maybe we need to reload the project. There might be something stale there. I'd just be surprised. Variant.trs. Okay, so can we delete this now? Still no. I mean, I guess what we can do is just, okay, here's what we can do. We can just click remove, and if it changed banner, which it didn't, yeah, it didn't change it. So how did Godot get it in its head that it was used? There must be some like cache of what's used, and it was wrong in this case. That's actually quite a problem because it means you can't trust that dialogue. Okay, well, they're gone. What should have been a very simple task turned out to be a detour. Remove unused font variant files. We set up fonts through code, so we don't need these. Yeah, deleting git diff. Yeah, there was no diff though. That's the thing. So if we do diff last commit, it's just the 2 deleted files. I don't get it, but it's not worth investigating right now. Figure out why we have 2 close button. I think one is for this. Yeah, we already looked into that. Make sure the, oh yeah, drat. I didn't want to do this because this isn't fun. So Google Fonts open font license. I typed it wrong, but where is it? License. Hey, Pickle. Do you always dress nice in your day-to-day like shirts, or is it just for streaming? It's just for streaming, and it only started back when I started the Adam Learns brand. That's what we call like a dough. Uh-oh. Like a duh-oh. Yeah, my thinking was back in the Botland days, I just had like t-shirts on all the time and hoodies. And then when I did Adam Learns, I'm like, if I'm going to be teaching people, I should probably dress a little bit better. That incurred a gigantic cost, which is ironing. I've never liked ironing and I'm very slow at it, but I found a life hack that everyone already knows about, which is steaming and then ironing. So now I can steam like 90% of the shirt and iron the last 10%. And it probably doubled my speed. And I only started doing this like a month ago. I really should have done this sooner. Oh, well. So yeah, you just got to start. Okay, so how do we find the open font license? I guess we can just go to the Noto font that we got. I think they all have the same license. I think every Noto font has the same license. Let's just click the specific ones though, just so that we're not wrong about this. Japanese. So here's the Japanese one, and here's the license. Now we're gonna do this. Can we just type like CN? No. All right, I didn't know. Noto Sans Chinese simplified. It's SC, not CN. Okay, fine. And there's a license for that. And then we do the exact same thing for Korean. Noto Sans Korean. All right, are the licenses all the same? They look like it. Yeah, you can see none of the text on the page is changing other than the title. And if I do page down on each of these, yep, still the same. And let's scroll down to the end and still the same. Cool. Okay, so they all use the same license, which I would have expected because they're all the open font license. So all we need to do is include the license in the files that the player gets. So how do we find OFL text? There it is. Can we find it as just a TXT file? Yeah, here. And Markdown. I don't really care which one. Whichever one's smaller actually is probably better, which must be OFL because it doesn't have any formatting characters. Oh, what's that? Dates copyright holder? Adobe. Oh, so I just copy this. "10 to 15 minutes is the average for a shirt. Don't think about it." Well, it got a lot faster when I started steaming it. And those 10 to 15 minutes are valuable. Okay, so we got to ship this with a game. How do we do that? I think when we export, we can... That's weird. The menu's stuck there. So we call a Godot. Uh-oh. How do you get that to go away now? Oh, there we go. Export. Resources, maybe? Yeah, star.txt. Okay, I guess let's try it out. So this needs to be in... Oh, we can just consider a resource in the project? How do you do that? How do you do that? Non-resource files. Oh, I see. Yeah, so we do need to do this. Okay, so then let's go find... This is the only thing we need to export with it. I don't even have the license on my machine yet. Let's go save that. So Skeleseller game... Don't I have a license file somewhere? Oh, I probably do, but it's probably above the game folder. Where is that? No, it's in docs. Oh, okay. Well, let's just save this in docs as open font license .txt. Hey, Mahukmar. Weirdly enough, this exact same question came up the other day. I forgot the answer. Any files in the project are automatically resources as long as Godot knows what they are. You have to exclude files if you don't want them on a player's PC. Wait a sec. So does that mean that I've been putting all my documentation onto players' computers? If so, that's a problem. How do we do this? Open Mac. Here it is. Open exported Mac build. I want that, and I want to see what this does. Unzip path. Okay, so let's copy all of that to temp and then open it from temp. And instead of doing this, I just want to echo this. Yeah, there. So now temp open exported Mac build. Skeleseller does not. Oh, this is relative to the file. Oh man. So let's just copy a path to this. Game is what we want. Yeah, now we do that. And then we go inspect the results and we find out that I was shipping a bunch of stuff I shouldn't have been shipping. Okay to run Skeleseller? No, I don't want to do that. I want to run this. There, okay. So resources. Data. I guess let's just search for my documentation that we have. So under contents, if we search for, yeah, like README. Okay, maybe it doesn't ship those then, I guess. Yeah, I think you have to include text files at least. Because I'm not excluding them and it's not considered a resource, I guess. Project, accept resource check below, export selected scenes, export dedicated server. Yeah. You don't do the PCK export? No. So I think what we need to do here is just, well, this will probably take some experimentation, but I want, where'd it go? There's a docs folder. Oh, there it is. Docs, open font license. So it's under game, so hopefully that's fine. Docs/open font license.txt. And I got to copy this into all of them. And then let's try exporting. Let's just try exporting the Windows one. Export. Game out win. Save. Okay. Okay, now let's go find that folder. So, whoops. Game out win. And now we wait. It currently says November 24th. And it should get updated today. Perfect. Now we open this. Whoops. Unable to expand into win. Error, undefined error. Oh, it's not finished yet. So as long as we have that in there now, we should be fine. I guess we can search for open. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. I appear to have messed this up. I might have needed to type game in here, although I don't think so. ABC. I see. That's why people have asked about it. Yeah, it's only been 2 people who asked so far, but still, yeah. Oh man, never mind. Yeah. By the way, are you still working on Seedborn Soldiers? So, I messed this up, right? There's no open font license in here. Yeah, there's no open font license. What am I doing wrong? Open font license is in docs. Hey, what am I doing wrong? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Still working? Okay, gotcha, yeah. Am I on Windows? I'm not on Windows, but I'm exporting the Windows build. Well, I'm actually doing this in all of the different builds. Oh, only this one has advanced options checked. I don't think that matters, though. I mean, let's try exporting the Mac build. I don't think this is going to make a difference, though. I'm not certain how you're supposed to do this. Hey, Leap Year Girl. I saw you in Kit stream yesterday after I raided. If this doesn't work, I'll just look at the documentation. I just figured this would be straightforward to use. Filters to export non-resource. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything I'm doing wrong with this. Yeah. All right, so we go to the Mac build and we open this. And we hope that we can find the open font license. Oh boy. All right, well, this shows I don't know what I'm doing. It's not a resources, right? Find would find it, and it can't. Maybe it's inside something like this. What is this file? I can't open it. Oh, that might be how it works though. Because yeah, we don't have image files and stuff. Yeah, we do have a PCK. So it's in here then, right? All right, well, what is a PCK file? It's probably some compressed thing. You have to include the file in the folder you ship to Steam. Wait, so my original goal was have Godot export a plain text file. It sounds like it exported the contents of this file into the PCK file, which means I am shipping documentation. Not that there's a, I don't care about me shipping the documentation. I wrote it all on stream, so it's all public, but it's just stuff people don't need to download. By the file, I meant openfontlicense.txt. Yeah. What I'm trying to figure out though is, can I have Godot just export the text file as a standalone file so that I don't have to do anything? Well, anything special. Is that a thing, or does it have to go into a PCK file and then I like expand it, or I do what you're suggesting, which is I add in the text file on the Steam side of this with the export? Godot export text file. Can it be loaded? Because I think it's going to show up in the res folder. I'm going to put a text file inside an exported game. Yeah, I think don't export license files. Way to include license folder. You export them in your pack game by simply adding them to resource section. So include them in your PCK files. Okay. And if open with an archive manager, they'll appear there. If you want them included in your application in an about section or something, you could place all of them in a folder and read them in the label. Yeah. Okay, I see. So it exports as the PCK file. Can we open that? I probably shouldn't keep deleting this. I'm making my computer do the same work over and over. Resources, PCK. If I just rename this as like .zip, out of curiosity, is that the format that they use? No. Unsupported format. Oh, whoops. I clicked the wrong thing. All right, so Godot read PCK file from OS. PCK, how to open them. Check out opening at runtime. I don't want to open at runtime. Found this program for Windows. Small program for exploring and extracting files from here. This is an incredibly important thing. I'm going to look at this in, okay, so yeah, write notes about this, PCK files, etc. And yeah, figure out if I can cheaply open the PCK files on Mac. But it is break time for now. So I'm going to go take my break really fast and then we'll resume with this stuff. But this has been pretty interesting so far. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Close the game. All right, so yeah, I'd like some sort of PCK Explorer on Mac. I'm gonna say we could use Wine. Interesting. What is this stuff that I see here? Support for removing files in PCK patches was added. This program also supports this feature. Files with a removal flag. We'll have that in name. It works on Mac now. Oh. Oh, wow, look at that. Huh. Interesting. All right, so what's the installation process for this? Binaries of the latest versions are available on itch or the GitHub releases page. Starting from version 1.4.2, native and .NET versions of the program have become available. Standalone program requires .NET 9. So I should just be able to get the standalone thing here. Mac Universal. Interesting. Sorry, I was eating my food. I did see you in chat, but things are hectic. Oh no, that's totally fine. Yeah, it's not like you have to say hi to me every time I'm in the channel. Got a lot of messages from friends and family congratulating me on the still to be created and not yet finalized job. Yeah, I think it's amazing that they're doing that. It's nice that they're working with you. It's nice that you get that very long word of a stipend, and I hope it turns into like sort of the full thing, but not quite the full thing. You know, with the stipulations you were talking about. Also, that Apple turnover looked pretty good. Yeah. What was the word you used for Apple turnover? Apple flap. I like that. I like that even better. Yeah. I guess that's the Dutch for it, but still it sounds funny in English. All right, so yeah, I guess you download this. I'm a little curious about what we're gonna find. All right, so how do I run this? Because the flap, I know, but it's still funny. It's fun to say. Where's the running instructions? It says it's a standalone application, but I just see this .console thing here. Oh, here it is. No, that's a dynamic library. It says it's executable? What? What? Do I mark it executable? That doesn't even make sense, right? I don't know what I'm doing right now. But I don't even see the console thing. How do you run this? Native and .NET versions. Huh. Yeah, it is just library. Hey, Smurf, Sarah. Okay, let me go back a sec. Yeah, I think I'm missing something. But I don't know what. So up a directory and I get to this console application, which doesn't even show up there. Or is it up two directories? It's up two directories. And all right, I'm just gonna, let's try this. And then run that. Killed. Cannot verify it's free of malware. Oh, you have to like unquarantine it or something, right? I forgot how you do that. I mean, probably a question of trust should come up at some point here, but just gonna just gonna throw caution to the wind. Still killed. This might not actually be an application. It is a .console file. I'd expect this to be the application part of things. Oh, I also need to approve it. Oh, whoops. No longer supported. There's no approve thing. It's SPCTL. It says it's no longer supported, but like --add? What did they replace it with? Deprecated. As of Mac 15, operations that modify the rule database will no longer be supported. To add rules, please see this. Okay, fine. This is not helpful. Exclude selected files and then just browse the file tree. I saw you say that earlier. I guess I just didn't understand what you meant, and I still don't totally get it. So select exclude selected files and then just browse the file tree. Oh, because it's still gonna wait. No, I don't think I understand. Yeah, how does this actually give me the files if I say to exclude them? Wouldn't this just not put them in the PCK? Yeah, so I think security and privacy is probably correct. What am I doing? Engage privacy mode. Yeah, I would not put them in the PCK. But then how do I find out? How does that help, I guess? Because that's the part I think I'm missing here. Whoops. All right, how do I even do what I'm trying to do over here? I have no clue. Oh, here it is. Allow. There we go. Whoops. The things that aren't checked are in the PCK. That's how you know what's in the PCK. I think I need to try what you're saying to figure out how this makes sense because I still don't understand it from that. And I'm not trying to be dense here. I just truly, I don't get it. Well, let's see if this is working now. Still killed. Okay, I don't know. Probably also need .NET UI console Win Linux Mac. I don't want the UI though. I just want the console thing. Yeah, I don't think I should need that. I mean, I'll download it anyway and we'll see what's inside of it. But I don't actually want the UI. What's in here? I mean, I see an executable, but that's just for Windows. Mac. It says Unix executable file. Is that what I'm supposed to be running this whole time? I don't. Why does it say it's executable? Yeah, it should just be a library. Sorry, when you select exclude, a little tree appears. Oh. I understand. Where's that setting? I select exclude. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Monadic Bind. I thought what you were saying this whole time, I thought it was like, okay, type a thing in here. So just type star or something like that and export. And then like your PCK file will be empty. And I was like, how would that tell me what I... yeah. Okay. All right. So then we are probably exporting like everything, right? All right, let me take a picture of this dialogue because I think we need to write all this stuff down. Yeah, I still can't figure out how to run that console thing though. Morning, couldn't find my keys. Eventually found them on my front door. Apartment still has another outside door. They're on the door all night. The keys can move. Don't trust the keys. Project settings, only export templates, blah, blah, blah. Accessing files from exported builds. Okay, so like cutting files out of exported builds. By default, Godot will export all resources in the project. This means that anything in your game folder will be accessible at runtime on a player's machine via res. You almost certainly don't want this depending on your directory structure. since it could include folders like docs or secrets. I don't know. I don't have a secrets folder. To see what, well, hang on. Exported resources go into the .pck file. For files like scripts, assets, etc., you want this behavior. For files like docs, secrets, etc., you almost certainly don't want this behavior. To see what will make it onto a player's machine, you can select export all resources in the project except resources checked below, and simply browse the list to see what will end up there. Then you can simply exclude those files or type them in the filter to exclude them. Okay, so what I want to try is this. What happens if we just type start out wave here? So this doesn't do anything. Yeah, I was hoping we'd see this list get trimmed down as I typed in the filter so that I could see exactly what's getting put there. Yeah, it's too bad. If you want to run, you just need .NET. Oh. So I don't need that console thing? You just .NET Mac Universal / whoopsie. Does look like it's broken for Mac. Yeah, let me see. Is there a note about this in the issues? 2 issues. No. Some notes about running on Mac. .NET console.dll. Okay. Also gets added to your export presets.tfg. Yeah, that's what I would expect. Yeah, here it is. But man, this is gonna be a little bit annoying because you need to do this for every project. I guess we'll just copy paste it. But yeah, so let's go look through this list. I'm sure there's stuff we're not supposed to have here. So I don't care about audio. That's all supposed to make it there, right? Battle sounds, yeah. Town sounds, yeah. That's all fine. All right, these should all just be graphics, graphics, graphics. Okay, so pretty much everything in assets I think should be okay. Then there's the out folder. This is terrifying if this stuff was getting included, because this means that the build sizes must have been huge. How big is this pack file? Oh boy, I'm glad we're looking into this. All because I needed to include a license. What a wonderful thing. All right, Mac, open this. Contents, resources, pack. 108 megabytes. So probably it's not including the out folder. But yeah, we want to disable that. So out should be gone. Scenes, we want all of that. Source, we want all of that. Submodules, we don't want any of that. And then we want these things. That's weird. Why doesn't docs show up over here? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why I'm just seeing these folders. We have assets, out, scene, source, submodules, but this one doesn't show and this one doesn't show. So if your docs are what they understand as resource files, it won't show up. But doesn't it understand PNGs are resource files? Because the docs are all just MD files and the PNGs show up. And so do scene files too. I think we just, man, I think we need this Pack Explorer to work. So I think we need to emulate it somehow for Windows. Because I want to see what we're actually getting. It'll only show files it understands as resource files. Oh, I see. Okay. AMD is not, yeah. So it's only showing things. Oh, so it's got some JSON files here. So we were including a little bit extra, I guess. But this is probably not too crazy. So wait, then those secret keys or whatever that you leaked were identified as resource files? What was their extension that happened? Hey, Andreas. They were JSON. Okay, got you. Yeah, keep in mind that no matter what, this only attempts to find resources, JSON, PNG, .tscn, etc. Oh man, I want to open up a PCK file. And I think we're gonna have to use wine or something, which I don't even know. I had whiskey installed, but I think whiskey was deprecated or something. Run modern Windows games. Can you use this to run just any application? I think you're doing 100 times better with the current game. Yeah, thank you. I think so too. Whiskey was discontinued. Yeah, oh, it says at the bottom. Apps and games may break at any time. All right, so what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Oh, I could SSH into my mini PC and run it there. But I need to put the pack file there too. Or I could do this all in a Docker container. What's better? I guess just do it on my mini PC. I don't really want to have to transfer things either way. No, let's do a Docker container. All right, you know what? How about this? Let's Wine's pretty easy to run nowadays. I don't think I have it right now, and I think that actually, do I brew list wine? Did you mean twine? Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you, computer. I meant twine. Brew setup wine. This is the dumbest search. Mac OS. Wine on Mac. How to install. Yeah, brew, install, wine staging. Install your most recent package. Did I need to type like -- cask here? What am I missing? That I can't list this? Hey, Sinistella. Oh, search maybe? No, it just... Oh, it's got to be... Oh, there's wine stable, I guess. Oh. So should I have searched for it like this? Star? Or I guess in quotation marks? Oh my God, there's got to be some way to do this, right? Search cask wine? All right, that finds it. So this probably also finds it. So, all right, I was supposed to use search and I was supposed to use -- cask. All right, There we go. So then I can install that. I don't want the staging one. I want stable. Do I have something about wine on? Yeah, I do. To install on Mac OS using Brew, you can run this. If you want to see different flavors of that cask, e.g. Wine at staging, you can do brew search cask wine. And let me just make sure that was actually correct. I'm pretty sure it is. Yep. No cutting edge technology here. All right, let's let that run. But then we got to download this for Windows. Where's the Windows one? Native console Windows. Yay. This is so silly. And I need to go find, I don't care about this anymore. I need to go find the out folder that I had. Yeah, here. Can you like merge? Can I put this back into this and put it as a tab? I guess I can always just copy the path and then open a new thing and then navigate to it. Okay, sure, whatever. Because I want to close these other... No, no, I didn't want to close that. I want to close this window there. And that. Yeah, nice. All right, so what are we at now? How do I run this? Wine stable. I think you may need staging for newer macOS versions. Wants access to control terminal. Allowing this will provide access to documents and data in terminal and perform actions within that. Sure. Okay. So now just run wine program. So downloads. Operation not permitted. Well, can we run it anyway? Hey, something happened. What in the world is it doing? How do we increase the size of this? Bigger. Press Command plus. Oh, weird. File not found. What? Is that what's happening from within the application? Because I never specified a path? Or what? Because it looks like it's starting up like Godot over here. Is it possible to run them? It's possible through an emulator. Which is, well, Wine is technically not an emulator, I guess. I don't fully understand what that means. I guess because it's translating. It's a translation layer. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong here now. Yeah. Maybe this is due to not having the newest version of Wine. Because this is not a helpful error message here. I mean, look, at this point, it's almost certainly faster for me to just do this on the mini PC because I'm doing it on hardware. Do I want to? Or do I just like boot up my Windows machine and remote into that? That'd be pretty easy too, I guess. But I need to get these files. I think I'll try the Linux way for now. Yeah. All right, so let's go into temp, make a directory for, what's this called? Like Godot PCK. Permission denied. Oh, this is made by Postgres. Temp Atom. Okay, let's make Godot PCK here. Whoops. rmdir Godot PCMK. Okay, so now switch into that, and I want to get that program. Where were the downloads? Here it is. Native Linux, copy. Okay, so what, can we just W get that? Yeah. Then unzip that. And then delete the zip file.
Whoops.
And then run this. Hey, that was easy. Okay, so now what we need to do is copy the PCK file over to my Linux machine. Where is it? There. So copy, where's copy? There it is. All right, so SCP, I want to go in the other direction. I want to put this on the right side, or sorry, left side. And then on the right side, we go into temp atom, no, wait, atom temp atom / Godot PCK. And there we go. So now we have the file and we have the program, and we just run this on the file. No, wait, there's something else we have to do. Please specify which action you want to run. Show pack file info, show pack file info with a list of packed files. Okay, let's just do -I for now. What does that do? This info is not helpful, but that's where we do -L. All right. So that's what I want to run. And now we just examine the output of this. Is there a way to copy this when I'm SSHing? I'd be pretty impressed if there were. No, there isn't. All right, well, we could save this all to a file, or I could just do this and just select everything. All right, so we got every single file now. Open PCK. So they're SCN files for scenes, I guess. I don't think I care about those. Is this is just a whole bunch of open PCKs, right? Yeah. All right, well, if we're going to do that, then how about this? Let's just copy all of those so that we just get file names, and let's alphabetize them, and then get rid of all the Godot exported stuff. I don't know why those are Godot imported. I guess Godot has to do that. 824, so we must almost be there. Yeah, there we go. And then there's a whole bunch of % stuff. So I don't care about any of that. Assets, like I said, I don't think I care about any asset. I think they're all fine. So we can ignore that. Basic fonts at TRES. Here's a bunch of TRES files. Hey, look, there's my there's my open font license. Oh man. All right, anything else? What do we have? So none of these should have made it there. This was all in the out folder. I kind of wonder how big these files are. My guess is like 50 kilobytes maybe. But I am actually kind of curious. So let's go take a look. So we go to out, and then we find any of those files. Skeleseller checkpoint 3. Man, it's kind of funny. It opened up like all of these apps, and it's just treating them as folders. And there are JSON files in here somewhere. Resources, data, game, arm, game.deps. 28 kilobytes. Okay, wow. And what about runtime config? That's nothing. And then, okay, so 28 kilobytes. And then what else over here? Another 28 kilobytes. So 50, 100, 200. Okay, I mean, it's not a lot, 200 kilobytes. And then whatever these are, which might be another 100. So yeah, that's like 0.3 megabytes we're going to save. Anything else? I don't know what project.binary is. But that's probably something Godot needs. And there was an icon. Hey, Mitch. All right, so all the scenes are fine. All of source is fine. What else do we get out of this thing? And then submodules. These are actually very large files. So yeah, we need to get rid of submodules, out, and I guess docs. Okay, let's go type that in. Submodules, out, and docs. And then we just don't even put this there. So I want this to just be in a regular folder inside the download. There is another way we could do this, which is that we show this in the game. There could be like a licenses button you click, but I don't think I want to do that. But yeah, there's no easy way for me to do this then, huh? Man. Yeah. Make it unskippable. You have to read it. This is a bunch of work just to get a license file. Oh, hey, the size is printed out here. Yeah, so I gotta figure it out. What is that project.binary? Size is 27 kilobytes? Also, this icon is huge. What? Where is that? Resources icon? 441 kilobytes. Wow, okay. Well, I guess we were including... How many of those? We had 5? So we had about 2.5 megabytes because we also had the JSON file. So we had like 2.5 megabytes of extra stuff. Let's make it into there. And then, yeah, these are huge. But those are going to be baked into the game itself. All right. Oh, and then I got to do this for all of these. Yeah, I can't do it just here. It needs to be on this and this. I wonder if this is sufficient. I doubt it's sufficient. What does the license say? It's on my machine. Why am I looking for it somewhere else? Each copy contains the above copyright notice and this license. These can be included either as standalone text files, human-readable headers, or in the appropriate machine-readable metadata fields within text or binary files, as long as those fields can easily be viewed by the user. Oh yeah, it's nothing when downloading it. Okay, so the original goal that we have here is just like get the license file onto people's machines. And then while doing this, we figured out we're like over shipping. So we're cutting this stuff out, but it's not like I did all this work just to cut down on 2 megabytes. It's like, oh, well, we're in there. Let's remove this stuff that shouldn't be there. So yes, you're correct. 2 megabytes is pretty much nothing. One of the cool things, though, about scale is that if you have like 1 million people and you have a 1% chance of error, then you have 10,000 people who are going to hit that error. So it's like, oh man, 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, when you start talking about it like, oh, 10,000 people in the world are going to experience that error you're talking about, it's like, yeah. So the same thing with megabytes was my whole point. It's like 2 megabytes for one person is not too bad, but then what about 1 million people? You're just wasting resources in the world. And so it's pretty clear that we can't just have this in the PCK file, I think, because it says it needs to be easily viewed, and I don't think this is easy to view. So yeah, this will create work for me. It'd just be nice if there was a way to say just put this in the folder, but not in the PCK. Is there some other way you can do this? No. Man, there's an advanced options thing, but I don't think this will give me anything. Yeah. I just don't want to do the work for this. And part of the reason why is because we have two different upload targets. We have Steam and itch. Although I think the real issue is not how I upload. It's just what I put in the folder. All right, I'll need to write a note to test this later too. Test downloading the demo and make sure open font license.txt made it in. All right, so here's what I think we have to do. We go modify the release tool to run something else. So what do we do right now? Somewhere there's an export here. Export all platforms. Export platform. So we run the export process. It puts it in some directory. But it's going to be a zip file. So then we would need to unzip it and then add in another file and then rezip it. Did we do that already for any reason? No. Man. What a shame. What a shame. There's nothing in here in release tool. Unzip. Oh, look at that. What is this? Upload to Steam does unzip here so that we can do what? So that Steam can do something with it. But we don't do this for itch, I'm assuming. There's just zip path. Yeah, you just put zips on directly. Hey, who cares? Man. Yeah, this is just going to be tedious. I lost my streak. Oh, no. Yeah, it's going to be tedious. It's not even as hard to do. I just don't want to do it. But I guess we have to. That's what the license says. Otherwise, I can't use it. And we have to use it because we need another font. And I'm not going to write out a whole Japanese, Korean, and Chinese set of fonts. Just no other way to do this. I wonder if there could be like some plugin for the export process that does this. And the next day that you can watch the VOD. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just do some more searches really fast to make sure there's no other way to do this. Export file alongside PCK. No, they just put it all in a PCK file. Export without PCK. Man, may want to read this. I don't want that stuff. I just want to export. Is there anything in here? Why export? Export menu, resource options. There is another thing we could potentially do that's actually kind of easier. We could export it in the PCK file, and then at game startup, we export it as a standalone file. So all we do is we just say like load res / whatever font license.txt, and then we say write all bytes to some like / license.txt. So we convert it from a PCK thing into a regular thing. I don't like that idea. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's an easy way to do this then, huh? Exporting packs, patches, and mods. No, I don't see anything here. Oh man, I'd really like to be able to do this. Export license. Hmm. Nothing that's open. What about closed issues? Third-party license window. It's a limiter. Yeah, I don't see anything for this. If I put it in my release tool, I'm gonna need to like test all this stuff out. I just don't really want to do that right now. But I want to publish. Yeah, I want to publish a game today. Needed to add an MD file to my exports for the purpose of fulfilling some license agreement. Hmm. Yeah, this is sort of like what I wanted. Including the license files? Yeah, yeah. So the short story is that Godot exports to a PCK, which is not easily openable by players. I just want to put like a license.txt on their file system when they download the game. And it's possible we could modify the release tool to take Godot's output, add the file, and then zip it. But the problem is the output of Godot is already zipped, so we need to like unzip, add file, and then zip. And this is fine. This is the easiest solution I have so far. I just want to see if there's something easier. Like, does Godot support this somehow? And it doesn't look like it does. Maybe not export a zip and zip later only for itch. Makes it easier to add the file in your tool. Yeah, that's another way we could do this too. We could just export the PCK and then zip it. So either one of those would work. And yeah, I don't want to make any modification. I think I'm just being lazy. But still, let's just finish looking through this and then yeah. Script resource properties in Visual Script. Huh. Should I put this in my game? Love how everyone reads disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer. Is this really needed on the internet? Like, has anyone ever been sued over an internet comment and they're like, I thought you were my lawyer? Yeah. Or is this like one of those things that showed up on Facebook where it's like, Facebook does not have the right to use my comment? Should I even bother continuing to read this? Yeah, I don't think I probably should. Okay, well, then fine. Also, hey, Indie Joe, I don't know if I welcomed you in, but welcome. Welcome to the stream. So let's write the notes on this stuff, and then let's make sure we have this written down. Modify the release tool. Option 1 is unzip the export from Godot, add the license, rezip. And option 2 is only zip at the very end for itch specifically, but still add in the file. All right, yeah, let's write the notes down. So we have this here, cutting files out of exported builds. Okay, alternatively, you can open .pck files with this tool. There. And what's it called? Godot PCK Explorer. Godot PCK Explorer. I couldn't get it working on Mac OS, but the Linux version worked as I would expect. I ran this. It listed all the files that would have been included, and I ended up excluding. Nah, I don't need to write that next part. Cool. Anything else I want to write about that? I think that's good now. And yeah. So should I write something about including license files? Godot exports everything to a .pck file, and some licenses stipulate, like the open font license. Where's the text for that license? I have it open somewhere. There. And there. Stipulate that the file must be included in an easily viewable way. Most users would not consider opening a PCK file easy, so you would need it to show as a plain text file. This means you need to add the file to the exported folder /zip after Godot. After exporting through Godot. But before uploading it but before distributing it. Yeah. In other words, Godot does not provide a method for exporting files outside of a PCK. So your release tooling needs to be modified for this. Well, I guess that's what we're going to do, and that's the last bit of this. Yeah. Again, I don't know why this is such a big deal in my mind. It shouldn't be. I think, whatever, we'll just get through it. I'm going to take a break first, though. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again, everybody. Close the game. Okay, so we're at modify the release tool. We have this omitting some stuff from here. This should probably, oh, also we probably shouldn't include this. Yeah. Cool. All right, so exclude certain files from exporting. What was I going to say about this? Any files that Godot detects as resources. Wait, so what happens with those PO files then? Maybe I don't want to exclude submodules. I don't actually know. Wait a second. Let me take a look because I think we, yeah, I think we need these. Yeah, I don't think we can exclude those. Did it find the .pot files? Do we have the output of that still? Yeah, here it is. .pot. No, it did not. Okay, yeah, then I think we're okay. Yeah, so we do include those. How's it going? How's it going to everybody though? Not just Yonsei. All right. So we gotta change that. Out and docs. Any files that Godot detects as resources will be included in the build. Practically, like, yeah, eg.json files, and there was some icon file too, right? I gotta go find that. .icns, yeah. Some of these were in the out directory. Probably amounted to a very small number of megabytes. But still, that's data that players won't get on their machines anymore. Also, it'll probably slightly speed up the export process. Add open font license to the game. This needs to, maybe we should save this under a different folder. Open font license. Like maybe we put it under a player licenses. Player licenses. Yeah. This needs to make it onto player machines, but I haven't modified the release tool yet to do that. All right, now we go modify the release tool. So we have to analyze which option sounds better. Let's close out of every tab we have. Option 1 or option 2. And I think option 2 is probably better. Like why zip only to unzip afterward and then zip again. But I think in order to test that, we should probably go to export and then don't make it a zip file. But it includes a bunch of other stuff too, right? How do we not do this? No, we just have an app in that case. Hold on, let me look at the other programs or other operating systems. Skeleseller on Linux has an executable and then a .pck file. Oh, it must just be a folder that is going to export, not a... Okay, never mind. It's putting the PCK no matter what. It's just not only a PCK. Yeah. Hey, Hideo, how's it going? I still have not gotten back to that WebBlade stuff. Man, there's been a lot going on, and I really want to tackle that. And I don't know if there's gonna be time tonight. Hey guy. Hey Ryan. It's the blue mod alert. Doing great, waiting for some CI to finish. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I am just trying to get a license file into our exported build that we have. And it's not super hard to do, but I've got to rework a whole bunch of little things. So if I rename this to just Skeleseller, and same thing here, that's already Skeleseller. No, it's not. Like that, and then like that. And then I export any one of these, it should just export it as not a zip. It says export as patch. I think we're going to the other option. I guess a license that asks you to make it easy. Yeah, exactly. It's the open font license because I needed fonts for Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. All right, you know what? I'm going to go the other route then because I think it's just going to be easier. And it's going to make the computer do extra work, but so what? Oh, these got back in there. That's not good. I need to reload the project. It's one I've dealt with in the past. Yeah. And I mean, the license terms are pretty straightforward. Including it is pretty easy. It's just we got to go modify our release tool to make it so that it actually puts it in there. What's your solution? Random button showing the text in a window. Oh no, the license says you can just put it on the file system. Where did the license go? Yeah, here. Oh, where's the text? Okay, readable. Yeah, it says these can be included as standalone text files. So yeah, that's what I plan on doing. And that's the only license we have that we need to put in. If we need to show them in game at some point, then yeah, we'll probably make some special widget for it that no one will ever click. But yeah, I can just put this in as a text file. And if it didn't say that it needed to be easily viewed, then I could just put it into the like the Godot proprietary format or whatever. And then they'd have them, but they'd never know how to find them. But yeah, we can't do that. All right. So over to the release tool. So export all platforms, export platform. Successfully exported. And then I think what we should do is Godot tools dot like ensure license files are present or add license files. Yeah, something like that. My case, I couldn't. I have no way of putting a text file on disk in an easy way. Everything is bundled. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, with games is definitely different. And actually, yeah, now that I think about it, if we had a web build, which we don't, and I don't think we ever will, then I guess we would need to show them a game. Actually, how does that work? Imagine I were publishing to the Nintendo Switch, which we're not, but let's say I were. We included standalone text files, human readable headers, and the appropriate machine readable metadata. We bundled, provided each copy contains the above notice and this license. It doesn't say you can show it within your application, actually. But I'm sure the spirit of this is just let users see the license. So yeah. Hey, Andy. Hideo's a moderator these days? I think Hideo's been a moderator for years. Right, Hideo? Didn't I make you a moderator like 9 years ago or something? Copy files and export, Godot asset library. I've never thought of looking at their assets for that. I don't necessarily mind just doing this anyway, though. Where do you even find assets? Oh, right, asset lib. Right. Copy files on export. We sure we need to include the font license? I mean, the text of it sounds pretty straightforward. Without the text is when it's embedded in a document or bundled within a program. In the case of metadata included within a font is legally sufficient. What? In the case of metadata included within a font? What does it even mean? Also, that's strange. The only situation in which it can be distributed without the text is when it's embedded in a document or bundled within a program. That's not what their license says, though, right? Permission is granted to any person obtaining a copy to use it, subject to the following conditions. Original or modified versions of the font software may be bundled or sold with any software, provided that each copy contains the above notice. I'm not totally sure based on this, but I think it's just worth including anyway. We'll probably have another license at some point. The second paragraph says you do not need to include the license, copyright, or any. I'm so confused at how you reconcile this, which does sound like you're right, with this, which sounds like you have to include it. It's easy for redistribution. It says to use. I know redistribute is one of the words, but it says to use and to sell copies of the software. Original or modified versions may be bundled, redistributed, and are sold with any software. Maybe they mean something different when they say bundled. Okay, they might mean like to produce alongside as a standalone font. Whereas I took it to mean it's shipped alongside the game or shipped within the game. Yeah. What is this, by the way? Copy files and export is an add-on for Godot, which allows you to define a set of files and directories which will be copied alongside the project when it's exported, optionally filterable by feature. Useful if you want to include a README or something. This is exactly what I want to give. Yeah. So, okay. I'll put a link. Can you copy a link to this online? Godot, copy files on export add-on. Is there some like, yeah, there is. There's a website for it. However, an add-on could provide this functionality, e.g. this one, which I haven't tried. All right, I think I'm gonna treat this like how Kevin's interpreting this, which is that we don't have to include the license, or maybe I try this out, but I would have to trust this. I wonder what the auto update policy and what the security policies are for add-ons. I've never used, at least I don't think I've ever used a Godot add-on before. Can you see the code somewhere? There's a download button. Is it just for the whole thing? Do you have to include the code alongside it though? Add-ons, copy. Yeah, they have the code right there. Okay, so I mean, I can take a look at that really fast. And the license is MIT license. I'm kind of surprised they don't require you to put a GitHub repo here. Oh, look at that. I would not have expected that to say view files. I thought it would be like, go look at the source or something. It makes sense. I just wasn't expecting that. You could just download them and paste them in the project. Yeah, I don't think I want to use this. Yeah, I think I want to just not use the license. Hey, Flare. Today I made an options menu and wrote some unholy reflection code. Please, everyone clap. Well, I'm more concerned with how are you feeling? Because you said you were like super out of it and on a bunch of medication. All right, so yeah, let's go with what Kevin said here and just not do anything. Oh, man. I'm going to have to write this somewhere. Player license, open font license. Okay, so let's just make a new file alongside this saying readme.md. Feel free to reach out if you need me to tell you not to do anything else. Fever's gone. Throat still hurts. Cough is slightly annoying. Well, I'm glad the fever's gone at least. Hopefully you're taking medicine for the other stuff. All right, so what am I going to say for this? Kevin found an FAQ. Kevin is a lawyer. Kevin advised me to do this thing. Where'd that page go? From this link, which is official because it's the openfontlicense.org thing. And what does it say? You can use them. So it sounds like we would just need to include the license if we like gave users easy access to something like notofont.ttf, which we don't do. It's just bundled into the game. But yeah, it's like it's embedded. All right. Take care, Kevin. Well, that saves me some time. And I don't think this is some twisting of the license. It does sound like this is what they meant. I mean, they have an FAQ on it. All right. Well, fine. Write why we aren't including the open font license. Okay, address to-do items in the code. Do we even have any of these? Nope. Run.NET format. .NET format. We don't have any changes right now. And then run the UID tool and then merge the branch. Wow, neat. Hey, Override. How's that keyboard feel compared to something like a Glove 80 where it has a hand shape? I haven't used another keyboard like this except for the Moonlander and the Ergodox, I guess, which are pretty much the same keyboard. So I've used something like this. This is already like kind of hand shaped, I'd say, but I like the feel of it. I think it's pretty nice. The Glove 80 to me struck me as having too many keys, which probably sounds kind of funny, but they've now made the Go 60 as a result of that, I think. And even this, I think, is too many keys. But I think a lot of people would probably appreciate having dedicated numbers and having some extra keys over here if you want them. What's that symbol? What does that say? Mo Ergo? Oh, that's the... oh, okay. That's the name of the company. So this changed one thing. Okay, sure. I like it, but I like something hot swap at least. I think hot swap is nice if you don't know which switches you're going to enjoy. This is actually hot swappable, so I could just pry one of these off if I wanted to, but I've never really needed it to be hot swappable. I'm using some very light linear switches on this, and actually this was kind of tough to get used to because I would rest my hand on the keyboard just very lightly, and then I'd end up typing something out like this. Whereas if I had a tactile key, I probably wouldn't have done that. I would have realized. How many grams? I don't remember. I've got the whole like keyboard stuff all in that command. And I guess this doesn't link to the, well, the video might link to it. Hang on, let me take a look. This here. The Kale low profile chalk red crystal. I don't know if this link still works. Let me do this off screen. 35. Yeah. Okay, so we run this. I want to run the UID tool next. This is going to probably change to like mostly superficial things, but whatever. Let's do it. It's a drawing game. All right, this takes a little bit of time. It's not super long. And like I said, it might make a couple changes, might add in a UID file. I'd love to never have to run this in my life again, but such is Godot. And it made 2 changes. Let's go take a look at what they are. A UID and a UID. What happened here? No, this actually changed the load steps. That's not changing the UID. But this one added in the UID. Okay, fine. Run UID tool. All right, so that's done too. Now we merge the branch. I don't even remember what this branch was for at this point. Localized fonts. I feel like we've done everything. Set game up to use special fonts for CJK. Create. They mean the license and the metadata, but it's not a good pattern anyway. Is that what that meant? Oh no, that was on the FAQ. Where is that? I just cannot find that page, can I? Let's go to it from here. Metadata, I think it was down here. Case of metadata. Oh, I see. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I was reading this as a standalone sentence, but yeah, it refers to it here. I don't know what I thought actually. I thought it was like if you're trying to use the font to contain something other than the font and also other than the license. I could see that being okay if you were modifying the font for other people to then use, I guess. But yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Oh, man. You know, there are a lot of wacky keyboards on the market now. And if I knew the names of some of these, I could show you more easily. But there are some where you basically like flick your finger forward or backward or side to side in order to type certain keys. I think it'd be neat to try one of those. Like there's a minor concern with some of these keyboards that people have, which is like, what if I can't use a regular keyboard again? And my stance is this is a non-issue. You're not going to forget how to use a regular keyboard. If for whatever reason you're learning how to type and you spend 1 day on a regular keyboard and then you switch for the rest of your life to something else, yeah, you'll probably forget the regular keyboard. But most people have been using a regular keyboard for years. You're not just going to forget that. And another concern is like, what if I'm at the office and someone else needs to use the keyboard or something and it's like they just wouldn't because they wouldn't figure out how. So yeah, I don't find that those are concerns. I think the bigger concern is how long does it take to learn a keyboard like this? And it is not a short amount of time for some people. All right, so we got the new fonts. That's all fine. Then I changed some of the themes to update the fonts. And then yeah, so this should all just be text related stuff. Every once in a while, there was a fix to something kind of unrelated, like this. We should have called the function instead of passing the function in. But yeah, in general, I think this is pretty good. Yeah, by the way, do try to pay attention. There's one tiny little rule in chat that I've had for many years that I only tell people about once they've violated it. So there, now you know. Okay, we're gonna merge this. And then switch to main. We're actually not gonna do that yet. We're gonna then go merge this one. I don't remember what this was about. Place sound. We're gonna say comment. Stop automatically increasing boss window size. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Man, the patch notes are gonna be obnoxious to write, but I will be very grateful to be able to write them in the first place because it will mean that we are done with a lot of this stuff. All right, so back to this branch. What is this called? Task backlog. Git, check out that. Actually, what am I even doing? I don't need to check this out. I just need to create a pull request. Random tasks. Yeah, just read the commits. These were things on my to-do list that had no real pattern between them. I just didn't want to commit directly to main. Okay, let's go merge that. Oh no. All right, I guess we do need to be on this branch. Hey, Gooey. You're my inspiration to get one of these keyboards. I got this one. Best decision ever. Let me take a look. Brazil's truly ergonomic and customizable keyboard. This looks pretty nice. Yeah. This is sort of similar, to the Sofel keyboard. I think the Sofel's a little bit bigger. Yeah. Also, man, I love encoders on keyboards. That's one of the things I miss. Struggle in the beginning, but I feel way more comfortable and precise. Still struggle a bit navigating code. Yeah. Yeah. If you've heard me say this before, I think it's like you probably have a nav layer, you probably have arrows and stuff in it, but also put anything specific to your workflow in it. Like I have Command K in it, I have Command T in it, I have a whole bunch of like Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3, so that I can go to specific tabs. Or not tabs, applications. So one of the examples I show when I do this is like, let's say I wanted to search for, I don't know, I've got something on my clipboard, let's say, I don't know, let's just type cats. So I hold my thumb down, I'm in the nav layer now, I press shift, I press home, so I select this, I press copy, I then switch to Chrome, open a new tab, paste, and press enter, and I had my thumb held that entire time. Now I let it off the keyboard, and I'm looking at cat pictures. And I think time to cat is the most important metric for anyone's life. How quickly can you get to a cat? I don't use QWERTY, no. Keith content. Hey, Wendy, thanks for the resub. And a hard worker. By the way, hi. Hi. So what are the changes that we have here? In-game menu is different because... What's that doing there? Didn't we delete this? I think we deleted all of that. This doesn't sound right. Yeah, get rid of shortcuts label. Why is it back? Oh, here it is. So wait, was something else done here? I don't know why this is a conflict. Like, where'd this come from? And what is it doing besides just the shortcuts label? Maybe there was a change made to that. Okay, well, I think what we want is what I have. Yeah, so let's accept the incoming change for all this stuff. So now the shortcut label is gone, right? Yeah. And then probably accept the incoming change on this too. And then there's one more block, I think. No, I think that's it. Okay, we're going to save that and we're going to try to open it and hopefully it works. I think we need to reload the whole project. If you use a window manager in Vimium in browser, your custom bindings reduced by 60%. Most people either don't have or can't afford Mac. I mean, you can. So a lot of this depends on what editor you use, what applications you use, and then what like general workflow you're doing. Like, are you coding? Are you just browsing the web? So if you're using a browser and you're using Vim shortcuts, then yeah, you're probably using the keyboard actually more than most people are using for a browser because they're probably not using the keyboard for scrolling a page, for activating links. They're only using it to type in a search term usually. But then you still have to get to the browser from your other application, and you have to get back to your other application from the browser. And you have to copy paste across applications. Maybe what you're doing in the browser is image related, and there is no like keyboard shortcut for like drawing pixels or something. Yeah, so if I just run this and we don't have a, why is this red? Oh, probably because it's a merge thing. If I run this and we don't have problems, I think we're fine. It might further edit this though. So this is only in the game that this shows up. And now it should just be gone. Yeah, it's gone. Wow. Neat. Okay. Yeah. Looks like it's working. So then we can commit that and hit, oh, what happened? Yeah, that's correct. And then this I don't want. Continue. Okay, so we should be done now. Yeah. So now we can push this, but we need to force it. Yeah. I should really turn off that auth switcher thing. Push, force. All right, so now no merge conflicts. All right, done with that. Now switch back to main again. All right, first of all, what time is it? 11:04. Okay, we got some time. I want to write these notes because I don't want to forget this stuff. And then I had some other little things that I wanted. This we've answered. Wait, have we answered all that? Yeah. Remember that someone may start the game for the first time with a non-English locale, in which case they should be told. This is the same thing twice. This doesn't matter anymore. Oh, by the way, tomorrow I've been talking about this every day of the week. Hopefully, I think I missed a day, but yeah, JITSPO's indie game showcase is going to be tomorrow. So if anyone wants to join for that, it's in about a day. So if now's a good time for you, and 3 hours would be a good time for you, then it should be good for you tomorrow too. And it's all of these games having a 15-second trailer. So I'm interested in seeing what this is like. And I think it's nice of JITSPO to put this event on. I think it took them a lot of work to do. So what are we doing here? Yeah, writing notes about the stuff. So Canvas layer prevents inheritance of themes. Can't change the default font, or you can change the default font like this. I think I want to put that in localization stuff. Changing fonts at runtime. So depending on how your scene hierarchy is set up, you won't just be able to change a theme on your root node and have the fonts propagate to each node in your scene. For example, Canvas layer does not have a theme property and is frequently a parent of control nodes, meaning root with theme, meaning a scene hierarchy like this, Canvas layer, control with, or like label, won't apply the theme to the label. All right, so instead, what we did for Skeleseller is to change the, what is that thing called? Font. Yeah, custom font, whatever this is. Change custom font. And then the fonts of individual themes. Yeah, and I wanted to include some things for that. So we've written about this. Oh, there's a project-wide theme, which I would only find if I had actually typed in theme, huh? Yeah, custom theme. However, the project-wide theme, will apply to that label. What we did for Skeleseller, hang on one sec. Ooh. What we did for Skeleseller is to change, yeah, custom font and a custom theme. And then the fonts have individual themes as needed. All right, I don't know what all this stuff says, so let's just write this here and read it. Changing the project-wide theme can be done with this code. Default font equals resource loader.load font res / some font. Do not use this. It doesn't work. Just not how you update a font. Font. Theme.set is used for specific controls. I don't think we need that. Yeah, I think we just delete that stuff. Oh, what else? So all this stuff's been written down. Write notes about why we don't just use fallback fonts. Yeah, fine. Fallback fonts. Some users may have fonts installed in their machines for particular languages. For example, I have a Korean font for some reason, despite not understanding Korean. But I didn't have a Chinese or Japanese font. As a result, Korean text would show up in Skeleseller, but it would use whatever font the system found. Okay, so if you want your text to look, or if you want your font to look like flavorful and consistent for the game, you will almost certainly want to bundle a font, yeah, with your exported build, or just into the game. Also, also, if you don't have a fallback font on the system and try rendering certain Unicode characters, they'll show up as boxes with numbers in them. This looks pretty unprofessional, even if it's just for a language selection menu. Do I have a picture of that still? Because if I have a picture, oh yeah, I do. Nice. All right, so I don't need to do anything special here. I can just copy this. I really should have trimmed that first, but now I don't want to do it. Oh, well. Okay. All right, so all the notes are done now. And I don't know why I'm keeping these around. Let's just delete the whole list now. Yeah. So need to fix in-game translation problems. We need a font that works with this. We need to warn people when they're using translations. So there's this stuff. It's no longer Thursday, so I'll put this up here. All right, so there's only one language file that has strings that work in Skeleseller right now. No, maybe there are two. No, I deleted them all for Spanish. Yeah, so if we go to Weblate, it's only French, and it's only what Hideo did for this. So you see translated English is, of course, at 100%. Everything else is at 0 except for French. So the only way that someone could even see non-English strings is if their locale is set to French to begin with, and then they'll only see some strings in French. Can I test this? I should be able to test this. I just need to find any of the translated strings. I think they're mostly ability names and stuff. Yeah, so we just go look at byte, for example. So we enter, well, let's change it to French first. French, and save. And now, yeah, start a new game. It doesn't matter. Yeah, focusing on abilities. Okay. So now if we go and unlock all adventurers and click the Witch Doctor and look at byte, yeah. Well, probably many abilities we could look at. We don't have a lot of abilities here. So the title's been changed without the description. So anyway, I think I'm not even going to write anything about this in the game right now. Probably there could be some French player who sees this, but to be honest, it would just be in the demo. And the demo doesn't even let you get all those characters and doesn't let you get to level 6, I think. So like, what would that look like? I guess we should try that out. Also, I probably shouldn't change the font so drastically if it's just like French. The font size, I mean. All right, so let me think. What's the demo get you? You get the rogue, you get how do I test this? Hang on a second. Sorry, I'm trying to think about how. I think we click this and then we can hire everybody. Yeah. So you get the rogue, the mage, the witch doctor, and the archer. And then you can get to level 4. Okay, so you'd see some things that are partially translated. Yeah. You'd see some things. That's fine. And then you'll see these very tiny titles here. I really probably should change that. What is that? Adventure panel tab, translation. No, it's not translation. Where did I do that? Somewhere I set a font size. I don't remember where. Locale. Party member base. There it is. Yeah, so we set the font size based on whether we're in English or not. Well, I don't know. Maybe we set it to something. Yeah, I don't know what we should do for this. We haven't localized this anyway yet, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's just have it be 18 regardless for now. That's kind of stupid, isn't it? 16? I don't know. I just want it to be slightly more readable, but still have more space. We're going to have to code this differently eventually anyway. So I hit continue game. What do we see? Yeah, whatever. It's fine. So we technically, close out of this. I don't care about this. We technically don't need to warn people about AI translations because there are no AI translations in the game right now. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need that stuff yet. Did I write this anywhere else? Well, I should probably put this somewhere. When we finally expose all, or when we finally have all strings no longer marked as fuzzy, we should probably warn people that there may be hints of LLMs in there. I guess technically we don't have to do anything about that now. The Steam page also needs to mention AI usage. I think linking to a document talking about the philosophy behind this stuff may be helpful. E.g., we didn't use AI for art or music. I used Copilot for code and very, very rarely vibe coded something. I think it was just the metrics server, which will be gutted eventually anyway. We did use AI quite a lot for the foundational translations. I don't think there's anything else. So I think the important parts are like no AI in the art. There might be one caveat to that, and I don't know the provenance of this, but there's, I think, one graphic in the entire game. I think it's the lightning graphic that we had. Where is that? I think Darkstorm made this with AI. I'm not positive, but I think it's a one AI art asset we use. Almost to the point where I don't think it's worth mentioning. And we have a human created graphic for it. I just like the AI graphic better. I feel like people only get mad at AI art. The rest are chill. I think AI music they might get mad at too, but no, all the music's been custom made for this. And I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned this, but I had an issue with this plugin. Why is this not?
Whoops.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I had an issue with this plugin in FL Studio where whatever settings I would change, it wouldn't remember them at reload time. So every time I open this project, I'd have to go and tweak like a whole bunch of settings, and it was super frustrating. Well, they fixed that. So now I can finally finish this town track I started working on. So we might even do that this afternoon if I'm like, well, we tested everything. The playtest is online. Everything's working. I don't think we'll get to that point. But if we do, I can always fall back to working on music stuff. Okay, so now we got a playtest. Oh, yeah, this is pretty minor. Yeah, sure, let's do this. Okay, so we had a problem, and maybe this is still going to be a problem. Can I show this? Maybe we need to zoom in like this. Try this. Okay, so this is 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. It's not working. Well, you can see this happening here. See how this is wiggling side to side? So that issue is very perplexing. and the reason it's so perplexing is because like I get how scaling in pixel art works, but this is an animated sprite that's using the same pixels for the flagpole for all of them. It's like, why is it changing within an animation? That's the part that doesn't make sense. And so what I did is I split them into individual files and everything worked totally fine. But then just for testing, we split it into a vertical sprite sheet instead of horizontal, and everything worked fine. So I don't have an answer for why the vertical one works. I would expect it to like squish vertically and expand vertically, but it doesn't. So yeah, we're just going to use this now, and that's that. The whole frame looks like the width of it. Yeah. I recognize the whole thing looks like it's changing, but oh, that reminded me of something. I guess what I was trying to say is on the left side of it, the flagpole is the same. But yeah, I see what you're saying. If the width of the overall frame is changing, then it might cause that to happen. What is strange about that is that I don't think Godot is cutting out transparent pixels. But yeah, Darkstorm has suggested something, which I might as well go try now. Where is the flag? World? Where is this? Market? Yeah, there. Okay, so we open up the flag graphic. Oh, by the way, I learned why I couldn't overwrite my graphics earlier for whatever reason. There's a little drop down here which controls what we're exporting. And I think it was just exporting the selection. Yeah, I just need to learn how to use Affinity. Yeah, Duke. All right, so here's what we can try out. What we can do is we can just select every transparent pixel, which I don't know how to do that in this program. So is there some like magic select tool like GIMP has? Fill, color replacement. Oh, color replacement is kind of what I want. Whoa, that's a giant cursor. I just want to select all the transparent pixels. Huh. Yeah, there might be a way to do this. Add, subtract, inside marquee. Yeah, let's just look this up. Affinity, magic, select. Where's magic wand? Flood fill tool? Is that even there? Oh boy. Vector flood fill tool. I mean, maybe that's fine. And then select nothing or select everything. I don't know how to use Affinity. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. All right. A similar color selection tool, see anything like that? There's a color selection thing here somewhere. Where is it? What is this? Fill tool. Oh, there's just a regular fill tool. So I guess we can get rid of this thing. Yeah. What does it say? Click an object to select it. Fill in shape areas with solid gradient, hatch, or bitmap fills. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my issue with all this stuff. Alternate between different fill tool and G. What? Can I? It just goes to this and then back to this thing. Move tool. Flood fill tool. Oh, that's what I want. Oh yeah, I can't press. Oh, now I can press G to switch between them. That's weird. I was pressing G before. I guess it depends on what you had selected before this. If I click this and then no, I have to click one of these and then press G and then it switches. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So all I want to do is just make these not transparent. So we're just going to click this. Although this is really hard to tell. Where do I change the color here? All right, let's just make this red. Well, red's probably a little too obvious. We need it to be a little more subtle than that. Let's make it like that. Okay, there we go. All right, so if I missed anything, yeah, just that. Okay, so now let's export this. Whoops. Onto flag, replace. And then open up waving flag. Cool, okay, now we load this in the game. If you have it in the bars, it was by default. I don't think that one was in the bar by default. I think it's the vector flood fill that I had. So if I click vector mode, it's probably there by default. Yeah, it's probably one of those. I don't know. But it wasn't in the pixel one. But this one's there by default. This is the regular flood fill tool. All right, so it doesn't matter what we do here. And then we should not see wiggling anymore. No, we do still see wiggling. Okay, so it has nothing to do with transparent pixels. And they all have the same size. So this is why I don't understand why it's wiggling like that. But I'm going to change it anyway to this. Where's the vertical one? Here. So we export this as flag. And then go into our waving flag thing. And delete all of this, I guess. And then add in the new ones. Assets, world marketplace, flag. And then we got to get the right size. I think it's 27 by 27. And I did not realize this button was here before, but I can just click select all, which is pretty nice. And I think that's it. I think that fixes this. Batman, thanks for the resub. Happy 19 months. Even crime fighters have to watch coding streams from time to time. And yeah, now there's no wiggling. So like, who knows? Why did that work? No clue. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure this out too. But yeah, there's just no problem at any zoom level. I can pan the camera around and zoom as well. It doesn't wobble. Now what you will see happen is you'll see it switch between thin and thick versions of it. So like if I do this level of zoom, is this obvious? No, maybe one out. Yeah, okay, so here you can see this changing. So like here, it's a thin flagpole. I move it like 1 pixel to the left or right. Yeah, and it turned into a thick flagpole here. That's fine. That I understand. That's because we're trying to scale this and you have to at some point change how a pixel is represented on the screen. Like if you scaled up infinitely, you'd have, 10 pixels for every 1 pixel in the source image. What didn't make sense to me is why it was changing within an animation. So why does a vertical sprite sheet work? Who knows? Who knows? And then I think there's a way to upgrade this too and see a flag on here. Yeah, here. And these, if I save this, this should be working fine. Again, any zoom level, it should be fine. And any scaling level, it should be fine. In fact, what if we try like 2.1? Yeah, still seems okay. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so it does wiggle now vertically. It just stopped as soon as I hovered over that. That was weird. Oh my God, wait, what if that was caused by that shader? Oh my goodness. Could that have been the problem? I didn't realize a shader might have been involved there. But once I hovered over this, it made me realize that maybe it is. And it is wiggling vertically. Well, I need to update some notes. Yeah, vertical sprite sheet causes a vertical wiggle, which goes back to my original theory that I had that this is caused by the sprite sheet. But where did I write this down? Godot UI? I have like a picture of a flag and an arrow here somewhere. I guess we could just search for arrow. Godot. Here it is. Yeah, I took a video of this. If arranged as a 1x4 sprite sheet, then a vertical wiggle happens. Well, can happen. Yeah, it's trying to escape. Okay, so I think I understand this a little bit better. I want to look into that thing about the shader that we use. Guild. This does not have a material. Oh, well, maybe that's... Oh, then never mind. I don't think this matters. You can't, yeah, you can't point at the guild. It doesn't do anything. When you point at the guild master, it has the outline around them, but not the guild itself. Wait, but that's not possible. What happens when you get a treasure item? Hold on a second. Doesn't it highlight then? No, it highlights a guild master. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no explanation, but we'll fix it by just using... Actually, the vertical flag kind of mostly fixes it, but still, I think the proper way to fix it would be... I'll just do this. Doesn't matter. We'll see how much this fixes it for other people. If they see some vertical wiggle there, then we will just put them in individual files, and that'll fix it. Change font. Actually, why even bother changing the font size? What does this look like in one of our different fonts that we have? Yeah, so how about this? If it's in East Asian language, we'll do this a little differently. So how do we check if something's in East Asian language? Font switcher. Yeah, CJK locales. Should probably just put this on default. What's the project's texture rendering set to? Is it use nearest pixel? There's no stretching, so there should be no, like... If you're talking about what's the default texture filter, yes, it's set to nearest. All right, I want to change this, but I'm going to change that in a little bit. Change waving flag to use a vertical sprite sheet. There's currently a problem with horizontal wiggling. This doesn't fix it. I don't know why. This is stupid. Let's just go find those flag graphics, and I'll just use separate graphics. So where'd I put that? Temp flag? Yeah, here. We'll do it this way. In fact, I'll make a folder for this. Flags. And then we just delete this, which is going to break the scene. Yep. Asset, world, market, flags, and select them all. Problem fully solved now. I think. What will it do when you put the frames on diagonal? I assume squish it in both directions. So if I continue the game now, and every single zoom level should look fine. Let's go look at two flags at once. Yeah, and if I zoom into 2.1, which caused a problem earlier. Yeah, I don't see any problems. No wiggling here. Yeah, neat. Yeah, I know, Hideo. That's why I changed this right now. All right, so 1, 2, 2, 3 got fixed. All right, fix waving flag. Fixes this. Yeah, yeah. I wrote a bunch of notes about this in Obsidian, and we talked about it on Discord. In short, I don't fully understand why this happens. It only happens, it only like wiggles horizontally due to the horizontal layout of the sprite sheet. Switching to a vertical layout causes a vertical only wiggle. Thus, we got rid of the sprite sheet altogether to remove all wiggling. All right, good. Sprite sheet's bad. Got it. Yeah, so like I said, I can't fully explain why this is happening. And if you try to find any explanations, maybe not say, actually, no, I mean, we didn't see anything. And, whoops, I didn't mean to save. Yeah, so if we type any random number here, it shouldn't matter. There should be no wiggling. Yeah. I don't see any wiggling. Let's do 2.81. Now, the strange thing is, why don't we see this happen with any other animation in the game? Like, why are these characters not wiggling around? Don't know. Don't know. Don't care. Until somebody complains about it. We have way too many things to focus on already. So the wiggling is now solved. If a single frame was a different size, they're not. They're all the same size. Yeah. Can you get them to stand still for a second? Yeah, I could test it out, but I'm not going to spend the time at this point. All right, so this has been fixed. And then this we need to fix. But the way that we fix this is by changing locale to add in an extension to tell us whether it's one of the CJK languages. So we have a bunch of extensions, and I think we made an enumeration extension somewhere. And I've just been putting this in for like arbitrary stuff. Yeah. Okay, so we need a public static bool is CJK. This locale. And this just returns if the locale is one of those three. And then we can get rid of this. And then wherever that was used, we can change this to if locale.is CLK. Is that what I typed? Whoops. Yeah, whoops. All right, cool. Yeah, L to J. Yep. And then over here, what we can do is change this to locale.is CJK. So if it is, we're going to lower this to like 11. Otherwise, we're going to set it to 18. Now, what's the problem there? There, perfect. Okay. Let's go test that. So that way the names in French don't look weird. Well, they look weird to an English speaker. But not weird to a French speaker. Yeah, so this is the tiny font because this should not render in English. This should render in either Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. I don't know what we have it set to. Chinese, apparently. But yeah, if we set it to Korean, it's still going to look like it's in English. But if we change it to French, then it renders with the other font in the larger font size, and we just haven't translated the character names yet. So imagine that you're looking at French right now. Imagine a world where you understand French. Okay. Change font size of adventurer names. We only shrink them for CJK languages. You've already done it. Your imagination has caused you to learn French. Hey, Mysterious. Whoops. All right, now Hideo, for you to put yourself in the same shoes, I want you to imagine a world where you don't know French. Think of all the things that would be different. You go to the store, no one can understand you. You can't understand them. Business as usual. Imagine Hideo has such a thick French accent that even French people can't understand. I actually have kind of had this happen, not in the US at least, but every once in a while I'll watch a movie, or oh no, this is what happened with most recently. I was listening to the Game of Thrones audiobook, and the narrator is English, as in like British English, and is speaking English. It's not like some foreign language in the book, and I could not understand a word they were saying with one of the accents they were doing. And they did not use that accent for very long, so thank goodness. But I truly could not understand. And I was listening at 1x speed. So it's not like, oh, well, it's garbled because it was at 2x or 3x. And I think that's pretty difficult, especially for narration. Every once in a while, there is going to be a character who does not speak well, or they're drunk or something like that. And as a narrator, you want to communicate that. But if they're supposed to not be understood, it doesn't work that way in a book. Like the book can just write, oh, they're speaking in an indistinguishable way. So you'd have to communicate that while you're narrating somehow. Anyway, I want to play test the demo. I wonder if it's worth publishing. And then, no, let's just, yeah, I don't know what I feel about this. I don't know how I want to do this. I think we should just go through the normal Steam publishing process. No. Let's start with this. Let's just change this to be is debug is false and is demo is true. Because that's pretty much all that's going to happen anyway. And I want to do a playtest, and I want to time this. I want to see how long this takes. I'm not gonna go super fast. Stopwatch. I can't type stopwatch. Right there. Skeletal, like I'm taking the focus. All right, so we turn up the sound. Can't really hear anything. There we go. All right, anything else we need to change? Nope. Okay, so we are playtesting the demo, and I think it's gonna take about 20 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm gonna hit start. I'm gonna hit play game. Oh no! Okay, great. Okay, so subtract 3 seconds. All right, and we are gonna read the strings. Time for my first adventure. Wow, what a nice day this is. Oh, I hope I get a quest. Yeah, I'll kill a snake for you. Quest accepted. So we are intentionally reading text to make sure there's no localization problems, and also there are no font problems. So I need an antidote. And I think that by reading them aloud, it's going to cause me to actually like process it again instead of just knowing what should be said. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some mistakes. Maybe we won't. Oh, I had plenty of health potions. This is where the player is unreasonably angry. Like, you let me die? I just wanted an adventure. No one should ever meet their end like that. Is that thought bubble wiggling? I hope not. I did not see it, though. All right, I've got the land for Skeleton, but I need adventurers to do battle for me. If only I had a guild. Look around. Build guild. Guild lets you hire adventurers. Build. Okay. Hi, I'm Gil. I heard you may need an adventurer to help you out. Powerful spellcaster, can cast damaging spells. Sometimes rapid succession. Yeah, cool. Okay, now that you have an adventurer, send them in battle. Open the map to be able to start a battle. Click start battle here. Yeah, looks good. Walking to the portal. So by reading it, sorry, hang on, I got a cough. Sorry. I was gonna mute, but I have a different window open. By reading stuff out loud, I'm also slowing myself down, which is how a new player might experience this. The mage won their first battle and found a potion, but where do we sell it? Also look around. That time I will start a new battle. Lets you sell potions that you find. All right, cool. The sign above the door that says guild, will that need to be translated, or is that already? Oh, that? No, I'm not going to do anything about that. Yeah, that's always just going to say guild. I've seen this in Japanese games too, though, and I don't really think it's a problem. And the same thing's going to happen with tavern, so we're not going to like swap out signs based on the language you're playing in. You're an adventurer, a shop, and some customers. Keep battling, selling, and building to grow Skeleton. Okay. Also, hi, Tolis. All right. Hi. Excited for your stream today? All right, so I'm going to intentionally not move these potions. This does not have to do with playtesting. It has to do with me being able to get the garbage slime. And also, that's how players play. They don't necessarily move all of these and eventually lose one and then realize, oh, I can build something else. So we're going to lose that one. And then I will unlock the town hall. Unlocks perks to improve your town. Cool. And now I can get this and drop this off. Been coughing for a little over a week. Been annoying. I do want to play games. Work is work. I hope your cough gets better. Work is work. Hi, I'm a slime. I'll pay you for tasty items. Drag items to me and I'll eat them. The hungrier I am, the more I'll pay. You wonder where the slime is getting money from? Oh, whoops. I did not engage that again. In fact, now we can unlock auto battling. Allows you to automatically repeat battles. You must enable this in individual battle windows. Okie dokie. Bing. Done. Okay, so now they'll just keep fighting. So now the next goal is to hire another adventurer. And this is where, as a repeat player, I always feel like, oh, the game's a little bit slow getting there. But new players don't really seem to sense that too much. I think because they're still paying attention to like what's going on and they're watching the customers and they're like, you know, just experiencing the game. Just tedious, still easy enough. They can't really complain about it. I see. Is it mostly meetings still? Because I know you'd said that the meeting rate rose quite a lot. All right, now we have enough money. So it wasn't too long. It's been 5 minutes, by the way, so far. So I just got my rogue. You have enough money to hire another adventurer. We've done that. We can now send them into battle. I can shrink these things and put them over here. This is a bug that has always bothered me. This just dragging the windows as the end screen shows up kind of messes everything up. And now at this point, what new players tend to do is some of them will go start getting some of these perks. And some of them will try to like progress deeper into the game. I'm just gonna play how I normally play, just reading a little bit more than normal. I've already kind of read all the stuff that we have to read. We'll try to get at least 2 gold from these things. Nice. Yeah, so our adventurers are on auto battle. So we're getting a ton of potions. We only have 2 customers in town. And one of them just walked out of the town. So they're going to take a while before they come back. And I do not have space for these. And I don't have enough money to upgrade yet. Shiny red apple. Okay, fine. 1. There. Alright, let's get some money from these. And we need 2 gold. They're about to provide it for me. And now we can upgrade the port. Unlock this location so you can battle here. Canyon. The ogre dwells here. He doesn't have any special abilities. He's just really strong. Defeat the ogre to be able to do repeatable battles at the canyon. Okay, let's go do it. So now it does not expand this window anymore, so we have to manually expand it. Kind of useless, but I just had to click all of them. 1 gold's not too bad in the beginning, especially because there are some, like, there are 5 or 6 things you can click. So you can get like an extra 5 or 6 gold per minute, which is, I mean, if it took 5 minutes to get to that point, that's like another upgrade. The ogre will no longer terrorize that poor canyon. All right, so we just got an ogre blood. It was nice of the ogre to bottle this before dying. And how much is that worth if I sell it here? 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. I'll just let a customer buy it. You defeated the ogre, so new buildings are available and you can now fight regular enemies in the canyon. All right, let's do this. Hey, Nopsis. What about item coding stores instead, / with names, like having food crates in front of a tavern beside the sign in front of a shop? The only two places where this is actually an issue, if you're talking about like how do we change this text, it's just the guild and the tavern, I think. And I don't really think there's such big deals. But yeah, we could do that. I mean, we could put it in addition to that too. Oh, whoops, they're both fighting in the same battle. I want them to be in different battles. Actually, you know what? Let's just hire the archer. There, let's send them into their own. Actually, no, let's do 3 separate ones. Oh, you know what else I should try is using the controller. Although I already did a bunch of that. I don't have the money for this. Oh, and I'm pretty far from getting the money. Wow. I really like this point in the game, though. I think this is where it opens up a lot. And it's neat to explore and see what's going on. I'm going to manually close this. So at 50 gold, we can get the tavern, which will let us get more workers. We actually need more customers, though. So I should probably spend my first 50 gold on that. Oops. And I have the controller here, and I could use it for a bit. But I don't want to, like, mainly play with a controller. No, there we go. What do I need? I need to just sell all these. Yeah. Can I zoom in? No, I think I can rebind to zoom in, though. It's actually kind of easier to do things this way. Which is funny. I don't know if it's because of the acceleration or what. Huh. Interesting. I guess just dragging here is also fine. Alright, let's harvest these. Okay, done with controller. It's so much easier to use mouse and keyboard. I do want to test on the Steam Deck, though. But I needed to... Well, I guess I can do it on the demo version. Okay, so we have enough money to get a couple things. Let's get the tavern first. No, let's get more customers first. Yeah. We have so much of this. Alright, I'll get one of those. Okay, now we can level up an adventurer. Use wisdom sludge from the chef slime to level up. The sludge cost increases with each level. Let's level up the rogue. Quicker strike. Causes your quick strike to be even faster. Excuse me. Cool. Alright, so we have more customers. We just need to start using all of this stuff. We can also get this. Teach your workers how to operate the extractor so that they can pour potions into it themselves. Done. Now they can pretty much fully automate the farm if they wanted to. Alright, so it's been 10 minutes already. Again, I'm trying to think about this from the point of view of a player. The demo ends, and players don't know this. The demo ends when you get to the volcano. You don't even get to fight there. It just ends when you get there. So we still have to work our way through this location and this location, which I think is a decent amount of time for a demo still. Hi, I'm a slime. I love to cook. I'm really bad at it. Bring me food and I will cook it. Use the resulting wisdom sludge to grow more powerful. Okay, this I'm not going to read out loud. I'm just going to make sure it's all English, and it is. Good. Alright, we have enough to level up another adventurer. Let's get this one. And at this point, we can now go into the canyon battle. Let's make this a little bit larger. Put this up here. And now I want to unlock the tavern. Oh, and the armor shop, right? So they're winning this battle pretty easily. Looks good. And we need this. And these to go up here. Now we can level up the archer. I think... Oh, right. I never end up getting the warehouse, and I really should get that. I'm pretty happy with how the soundtrack turned out. Should I get the warehouse first? I guess I kind of just need more customers. Maybe I should make them move faster. because, yeah, I can't... Oh, now I can afford it. Nice, so let's save off some of the expensive potions. Customers just aren't buying anything, which is just bad luck. So I'm not really getting any money. Now they're going to go buy something. Okay, just get rid of this potion. I'll only sell the good stuff. Yeah. Yep, so get rid of that. I just need them to go get something. I've rarely seen this happen in the game. Actually, I should show up soon. I'll buy everything. Oh, nice. We could put this over here, maybe. How many overflow seeds do we have? Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so I really, really want more customers. And I want them to move faster. The faster movement speed is only 50. I'm not actually sure what's best from a statistical perspective of just like gold per minute. Should you increase the number of customers once more or their speed? And I think I want it to be speed. Like there's a lot of walking around for them right now. But yeah, probably just more customers is better. Nice. We're getting some sales. Nice. Okay, so now we can upgrade something. Yeah, let's go with speed. So they move 20% faster now, which means when they're going to go get an item, they'll get it a little faster. Yeah, nice. But if they're just going to idle around anyway, then they're going to idle at the same speed. All right, that customer came back into town. Just buy stuff. No, they're leaving. Why do they hate me so? Yeah, buy another one. Good. Buy another one. Yep. That speed's paying off. Okay, now we can get another customer too. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. All right, we're selling a lot now. And there are extra 2 customers who are also moving faster. Looking good. We might actually make it through these items. All right, so now I'll do this, and that way we can have our little skeletons put blue potions into the tavern. Oh, I gotta start the quest. Again, I'm just scanning things to make sure that they're English. I am actually looking. We do need to test this. But I think pacing is more important to me right now. Oh, some people want yellow potions. Okay, we're working through our whole stock now. Yeah, upgrading number of customers is really good. All right. Now that's money. So if we hire... The next adventure is 150. We could upgrade an adventure. No, we can't. Because that costs 40. And yeah, now we're pretty much out of items. Pretty good. So it's been 15 minutes and 22 seconds. We could probably make it to this location soon. Do I want to? I actually want to complete these quests. Let's just send them to the forest then and just complete this really fast. Yeah, so the demo limits how much money you can get. And it says right there, in the demo, you're limited to 199 gold. And the reason why we do that is because we price some of these perks such that now you just can't get more customers. What this is to avoid is that I think a lot of people would play the demo and they're like, well, I'm having fun. Let me just keep playing it. And they play for an extra hour or hour and a half or something, or they just leave it running. And then they end up with like 4,000 gold. And when they buy the full game, they're like, well, that's kind of a letdown. I just bought like everything for the next 5 areas before I should have been able to buy it. Okay, so now we have the new customer. We want to do this. And now put all our yellow potions in there, which we're not getting because we're not fighting over there. And we can get the witch doctor. And we could try splitting this up now. I wonder if that would work. Can 2 level 2 adventurers beat this? Let's find out. All right, I can just press enter on that. That's pretty nice. Wow, look at my town. Look at it go. They are winning, and these are maybe winning. We're not going to get boots for a while. Because I'm not even fighting in the location that drops boots. But yeah, upgrading customers is massive. So I guess let's spend our next money on making workers move faster. Yeah. Yeah, just let them go. I think this is fun. Like, I've played this a bunch of times. And I'm still trying to look at it from the eyes of a new player. Of like, what am I looking forward to? How do I feel as I'm playing? What are my options that I can do? How much am I waiting around? Or like, where can I control things? And the only issue with what I said is some players come to the conclusion that, oh, the game is potentially slow and don't exercise the choices they have. Because they're just like, oh, well, this is just how the game is supposed to progress. So yeah, you do have some agency. All right, we're going to send everybody into the new battle. We can even level someone up. Nice. I did it before it started. I think they should be able to beat this pretty easily. So it's been 18 minutes now. Yeah, they should beat this. Good. So that gets me new items, which lets me make a lot more money. Get a new worker. Probably should put this over here. Just sell that. We're not getting blue potions anymore, so this character is just never going to buy anything unless I go back. The way you end the demo is by spending 100 gold on this. So if I wanted to, with one more item sale, I could end it and it'd be about 19 minutes. But as a player, I wouldn't know that. So again, I'm trying to play like a player would. A player would probably see, oh, that's level 3. So let me get a couple of adventurers to level 3. And in order to do that, I would upgrade the farm and then dump this in there. There we go. So we're 3 boots away from the next worker. But yeah, I don't think this is very fast money. Yeah, we're just not winning fast enough. I should maybe go back to prior locations after we get the boots. And you can't get the enchanter in the demo. Yeah. Alright, nice. Should probably just sell this to the slime. No one wants it right now. What can I afford? Ooh, food critic. That's pretty good. Actually, so is this. Yeah, let's get food critic. Now there's a special little, not really an Easter egg, but just a nice thing for the player. The first item you feed to the slime after getting food critic is guaranteed to crit. So if I put this potion, which is worth a lot, it gives me 26 gold instead of just 18. So we got our new worker. We can accept the new quest, but we can't get these items in the demo. So there's no reason to accept it, although a player wouldn't know that, so I guess a player would click this. And then, oh, no, you can't get that item. Oh, well, that was dumb. Because now I'm going to lose 10 potions to the quest. Oh, well. Whatever. Yeah, so now we can upgrade another adventurer. Alright, so we have a bunch of them level 3 now. And now at this point, a player might say, yeah, let me go unlock the next location, which we can probably do pretty soon. Yeah. Okay, so now we can afford it. So I'm going to go do that and stop the stopwatch. Because right now, I put a character in the party and it says, well, it says this. It says this battle is not available in the demo. We should probably fix this. I'll just take a picture of that. And then this says, you've unlocked the volcano, which marks the end of the demo content. Please don't forget to wishlist Skeleteller. It should launch in March 2026. Thanks for playing. Should I say March if I haven't actually picked a date yet? I said should, so I think that's fine. But yeah, okay, so no real bugs experienced. Maybe this could kind of be considered a bug, which I'll just put down here for now. Let me put this here. So this is what? At the end of the demo, we should make it more obvious why you can't do the last battle. Yeah. It took me 21 minutes and 22 seconds. Let's say like 20 seconds to get to the volcano. I think that's pretty good. What's going to be a little bit striking about this is there are stats on the demo playtime. And right now the median time played is exactly 2 hours. If I just took 20 minutes to beat the new demo, which we pruned down drastically, then this is just going to plummet. It's an intentional plummeting though. So yeah, anyone playing right this second, which is only 2 people, and I don't know if they're watching the stream. Anyone playing right this second, you're playing the demo that is still 2 hours long. So you might have a medium playtime of this. But if I update the game, oh wait, no, it wouldn't restart your game. Yeah, so you can just keep playing that, I guess. What's going to make it replayable? It's not a 22-minute game, it's a 22-minute demo. No one's supposed to replay the first 20 minutes of this game. Like, you would just keep going through the demo. Well, not through the demo. You'd go through the rest of the game, but we can't do that here because this is just the demo version. So yeah, the full game, you'd go through the rest of these locations, and then you'd unlock a new mode, and you can play that new mode, and that's where the replayability comes in. Our total wish list. They've been pretty stagnant. I haven't been marketing the game. They're currently at 9332. So yeah, it's not really moving anymore. In the last 11 days, it's gone up by 23. 10K is the goal. I mean, just higher is generally better. I don't think 10K is a magic number or anything. But yeah, I'll start marketing it again somewhat soon. But yeah, fun-wise, I think that was pretty good. Did we cut out one of the music tracks in the demo? Where do we even find that? Music system. Oh yeah, we do. So the 4th town track never played. What did that sound like? Whoops. 4th town track. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Audio, music, town theme, DLC. Oh yeah, I remember that. 10K is what makes your game enter upcoming and popular tab in Steam Store. Yeah, maybe it will. I don't know exactly how that stuff works, but it's probably not going to change my plans too much. Although it would be nice if there was just some snowball effect there. Hey, Burned. Watching the stream on a PS4. I don't know why. Okay. Hi, welcome. Yeah, so this will be in the full game. And why didn't it stop? Xing out of this doesn't stop it? It's probably a setting somewhere. Where is that? How do you... Huh. Would expect it to be in here somewhere. How do you make it quit when you click the X? I don't see it. Oh, maybe interface? I don't know. Whatever. I'll just quit this. $50 times 10,000. It's gonna launch at 15 with a sale of at least 20%, probably. Maybe, well, at least 10%. So yeah, maybe it's like $12.50 or something for launch buyers. Which, remember, Steam takes a 30% cut. So as a developer, you get this, and then you pay taxes on it too. So it's like, it'll be roughly $9 per copy of the game. So of the 10,000-ish wish list that we have, if you had whatever, like 15% convert to buying in the first week, just based on this, it'd be 1,500 times 9. So it'd be like $13,000-$14,000. You might say like, oh, that sounds like a lot of money, but that's assuming that many people convert, and your first week sales are probably your highest. I think generally the stat is something like your first week is roughly equal to the next 51 weeks. I don't know for sure, and I don't know how true that holds across games, but Yeah, so maybe you'd expect to get like, yeah, 25,000 or something from these numbers. Oh, which I think is bad. I think that would not be a good outcome for Scala Seller. But whatever, we're gonna just keep working on this stuff. For almost 1 year development, it's definitely a low hour salary. So this it's been well, it will have been about 2 years at the time of launch, and it will have been many people. And minimum wage where I live is actually pretty high. Like if I type what Seattle minimum wage, it is 2076. So yeah, if you consider number of work hours per year is roughly 2,000. So it'd be about 4,000 hours for one person. So what you'd expect to get at the minimum wage would be $83,000 over 2 years. The 51 weeks metric. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is, like I said, and there are always outliers, and yeah, marketing plays a big difference. So yeah, this is, I've talked about this a bunch, about just game dev economics. But again, if I went and worked at McDonald's, just, nearby, I'd make $83,000 minimally. Like they have to pay me that. So, yeah, you'd expect a game to make more than that. But yeah, I think this playtest was pretty good. I would like to publish this version in the afternoon. So I think what we're probably going to focus on, this I think is actually decently important. So we are going to fix this. And then I think we publish the demo, spend time on the patch notes. Running, I gotta get some food. I can like hear my stomach. It's 12:10. I don't normally stream this late in the morning. I got everything ready for a new demo release. Then a playtest version. And then will we have time for music stuff? The publishing of the demo isn't going to take as long as writing the patch notes. Test on Steam Deck. I can't really do this interactively. I'd have to like show you the Steam Deck as I'm playing, facing away from the camera. There might be a way to share screen or something, or maybe stream from the Steam Deck. No, wait, would that work? Maybe that would work. Do it? No, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I was thinking about doing music in the afternoon. I'm not sold on whether that's a good idea. I'm just trying to think, what else would I do to spend this afternoon? I don't think we should do more coding. This has been done, right? Upload to itch. I guess look over the itch page and the Steam page. Steam and itch pages. Yeah, we need to wait, don't I have this written down somewhere? That's pretty much all of this stuff. Yeah. All right, well, we'll play it by ear in the afternoon. We're definitely uploading a new demo, though. Steam event public, event patch notes. Chat to play testers, pick up marketing in, yeah. Yeah, the other thing about playing on the Steam Deck is, even if I had a perfect mirroring setup, you just watch me do exactly what I just did right there. So I think I just should test it myself for like 5 minutes and just see like, yeah, can I move items around? Can I do other things? Do controls conflict with one another somehow? I wonder if there's any other thing I need to do for that. I guess we'll find out. Okay, well, that is it for the morning stream. I'm going to go take about an hour and eat some food, relax for a bit. And then we'll get back and we'll do the publishing of the demo, the patch notes, and then all this like extra work that we have. So thank you for watching. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you want to join Discord, there are the links. There's a Scala Seller one and an Adam Learns one. And I'll be back in a bit. Cheers, everyone.